Oh, shit. That's right. That's right. What is good? What is good, everybody? Mikey T, the movie star here. Let me just get my sound situated, make sure everything is good for tonight's live show. Appreciate everybody tapping in. Make sure
Brawny, stay giant. With our strongest brawny ever, so you can use.
make sure you hit that like button. Hit that like button. Show me some love. Let me know what city and state you're tapping in from. We got some shit to talk about tonight. As you all seen on earlier on the channel, I actually released a throwback clip of AR Rab speaking about that crazy situation with Cassidy from back in the day, where he actually explained linking up with Cassidy. And then within a month of actually, squatting up with Larceny family, he was in a major dilemma. Y'all can go check it out. It's on the channel. Y'all can go check that out, man. And everybody can go, you know what I mean? Drop some comments, run the numbers up, get that content in if you missed it before. I've seen a lot of people commenting, like, yo, Mikey T, I didn't even know that was your interview. I'm kind of shocked. You know what I mean? I'm kind of shocked, but also I'm just happy that everybody is still invested in the content. That's what actually makes me it brings the most joy to me when people actually just see the content, because that's why I got involved in this shit in the first place, to make sure the artist on the underground had a voice, you know what I mean, to get their voice and their music out there. Guys, you know who it is. This is Mikey T, the movie star. And for those of you who are going to be in the comments tonight saying, Mikey T, stop clout chasing, Queens flip, listen, I don't care. So, everybody in here, just get that out of your system right now. I don't care. And I'll tell you why I don't care. I'm going to tell you guys why I don't care. It's because I don't like the way that Queens Flip is doing this interview. I don't like the way that Queens Flip is coming at Cassidy during this interview. I really don't like it, to be 100 with you. Queens Flip, has this immense loyalty to Leek Moss, King Earner, Pretty Flock. What is Queens Flip trying to do? You know what I mean? He's trying to paint Cassidy out to be the bad guy. Yo, Cassidy, you sent them to Canal Street to buy fake Air Force Ones? You're foul, Cassidy. Let me explain something to y'all. And this is, you know what I mean? This is going to get a lot of people mad. This is going to get a lot of people mad out there. But the only reason you know about AR Rab is because of Cassidy. That's just a fact. And you're talking to somebody, you know what I mean? Somebody that, that just dropped an AR Rab exclusive 2 hours ago. You know what I mean? I love AR Rab, but let's just say it how it is. I wouldn't be keeping it real if I didn't say this. You know what I mean? Free Ab, free Dark Low, free Skinny Me, free all the men. You know what I mean? But the only one of the only reasons that AR Rab is a household name is because of Cassidy. You know what I mean? And if Leek Moss wants to come at me sideways over what I'm saying, I don't care. You know what I mean? If OBH doesn't like what I'm saying, I don't care. It's the truth. Drake said AR Rab's name because of Cassidy, because Cassidy put him on the map. That's just what it is. So let me first and foremost say that. And remember, you know what I mean? A lot of Cassidy fans were AR Rab fans. A lot of Abs fans came through Cassidy, you guys. I don't want to be fake and I don't want to sound dumb up here. So let's just state the obvious. You know what I mean? So shout out to Cassidy for that. Now, AR Rab has a different, you know what I mean? When AR Rab was up on World Star for an hour and he spoke on Cassidy, he was venting. But the way Pretty Flock is up here on the Queen's Flip show talking about him is different. And I'll tell you why it's different. First of all, Cassidy just shut his mouth up with the quickness. Y'all in the chat, Everybody in the chat, I'm asking you guys, does Cassidy have kids? I'm trying to figure that out. How many kids does Cassidy have? Because a man's responsibility is to take care of his children. A man's responsibility is not to take care of other grown men. Pretty flock. Pretty flock. Since you're so pretty, you know what I mean? Let me not even get started with your name. The guy calls himself Pretty Flock. Okay. And again, I don't know how the hell he came up with that name, you guys. No bitches are looking at him. You know what I mean? A guy by the name of Pretty Flock is complaining because somebody else had him looking crazy. The only person that can have you looking crazy is yourself. If I tell you, yo, here's $300, go to Canal Street. Go to Canal Street and buy something. Here, let me see. $300. You got $300. So let's say that's $40 each. Go buy as many fake Air Force Ones as you can from Canal. And you can say, okay, no problem. I'll take the $300. Then you go to Canal Street and you buy fake Air Force Ones. That says more about you than it actually does about Cassidy. You could have said, I'm not going to buy fake Air Force Ones. I'm going to go to the Levi's store, Adidas, from Foot Locker, whatever. I'm not going to do what Cassidy told me to do because Cassidy doesn't have to wear these sneakers. I do. I have to wear them. And I'm going to have to explain to people why my Nike check is looking crooked. Them shits don't say Nike, they say Psyche. I got to explain to people why I'm wearing fake clothing. You can't even begin to fix your mouth to start talking about Cassidy. Why? Because you're his son. You're his son, his S-O-N. Meaning Cassidy knows. That's why he gave you an adequate and an appropriate name. Pretty Flock, a.k.a. Nico. Cassidy knew you before you was even calling yourself Pretty Flock. So cut all that out, man. You sit up there on Queen's Flip. You sit up there on the Queen's Flip show, you know what I mean, with your crispy white sweatsuit. Because you found out you were going on Queen's Flip, you decided to grab one of them sweatsuits, right? And you said, I got to look better than Leek Moss. Because me standing next to Leek Moss, guess who's going to look better? I am. Leek Moss doesn't even try, you know what I mean? And for those of y'all that are going to be like, oh, I'm telling Leek Moss. Oh, Mikey T, I'm going to tell Leek Moss. Go ahead. Leek Moss will tell you himself he doesn't like the dress. Leek's definition of getting fresh is black suede Timberlands. Go watch his video. It's on YouTube right now. And cash at me $1 for every time the director zooms in on his black suede Timberlands. He made it a point to tell him, make sure you catch my Timbs. Make sure you catch my Timbs in every shot. The guy zoomed in on his shoes like 10 times in the video, like it was the coolest shit on earth. Don't talk to me about getting fresh. Please don't talk to me about getting fresh if you think wearing black suede Timbs is getting fresh. It's not. I don't care whose feelings are hurt. Those are construction work boots, whatever. And another thing I got to say, the Prada sneakers. The Prada sneakers are played out. This is Mikey T, the movie star, telling you Prada sneakers are played out. They're played out. You know the patent leather shits that look like the fake Space Jams? Yeah, those. And I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you specifically. Burn those shits. Get them shits out of your closet, man. Get them shits out of your closet. Give them to your little cousin. Just stop it. But anyways, I just wanted to get that last part out of my system. Y'all late as hell on the trend. So you went up there with your crispy white sweatsuit because you gotta outshine Leek Moss, right, Flock? Pretty Flock. Pretty Flock. Pretty Flock. You made yourself look crazy. You tried to go up there and outdo what Hassan Campbell does. Oh, guys, look at me. Queen's Flip, can you shed some tears for me? Because Cassidy had me out here looking crazy. Queen's Flip, can you relate to my pain? Can you feel my struggle? I was just an upcoming rapper trying to make it. Cassidy was supposed to look out for me. But what did you do for Cassidy? Cassidy is supposed to look out for his children. He's supposed to look out for his kids, not an able-bodied man. If there's nothing wrong with you, you should be able to get to the money. Run to the nearest bag. Go figure it out. You're there depending on Cassidy to save you from poverty. What's in it for Cassidy helping Pretty Flock? Let's be real. What does he get from that? You know what he gets? He gets a bunch of bitter weirdos sitting on Queen's Flip's couch crying about him. Here's what you should have said, Pretty Flock, and I would have actually had no problem with you if you had just been a man and said this. Look, Queen's Flip, my name is Pretty Flock. Nobody knew about me. I got lit off Cassidy. Cassidy did the most he could do with me. You know how many hotel rooms, how many bags of chips and beers? We went to the bar. He didn't have to do that stuff. He just did. So I'm not going to sit here and badmouth Cassidy. If he said that, I would have said, yo, he's a real one. Let me tell you something, Pretty Flock. Nobody gives a fuck. Come on. Nobody cares. No one is saying Cassidy is foul. You know what I mean? They're sitting up there saying, damn, Pretty Flock is mad ungrateful. That's what they're saying. What did he expect? Did he expect the world in a handbasket? He expected Cassidy to give him a handbasket with the world in it, guys. What did you expect? What did you want? You wanted a Maserati? What did you want, Flock? A Bentley? Let me guess, the Rolls Royce, so you could stroll down Erie Ave in your Rolls Royce? What did you expect? What did you expect that other man to do for you? He's not your blood. He's not related to you. Is your last name Reese? Okay, then you're not related to Barry Adrian Reese, a.k.a. Bars, a.k.a. Cassidy. My point is, you have no type of say-so. You're a little Doja. You're Cassidy's little Doja. You have no say-so. You remind me of a young buck. You know what I mean? You remind me of young buck mad at 50 Cent. Damn, 50 Cent didn't show me how to do my taxes. I could have been rich like him if I knew how to do my taxes. You sound like an idiot like him. And when you speak, you actually put it all on display. Every time you open your mouth, like, how many years was that? You know what I mean? How many years was that when my drink and my two-step dropped? Hotel. You sound like Jay Hood. You sound like Jay Hood up there still bitter at Chic Luch. You mean to tell me all this time passed and you still couldn't get to the bag? all these years. And don't make me zoom in on your sneakers. Don't make me zoom in on the sneakers you were wearing with the crispy white sweatsuit. Don't make me zoom in on those sneakers you were wearing on Queen's Flip, man. Come on. I'm trying to take it easy on you. I'm not even trying to clown you, man. But if you're gonna go so hard, look at the sneakers. Really? That's the best you could do? Pretty flat. Oh man. Oh man. I could go for weeks too. Where did you get that from? That name, Pretty Boy Floyd? Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather? Shit, I don't know, man. I don't know any man that calls himself pretty. That, my friend, is just weird. That's just weird. I'm sorry. It's very weird. The only other person I know that did anything similar to that was Gorgeous Gangster. And you, compared to him? Nah. He looks like he belongs in a fashion magazine. You look like you belong in the Hassan Campbell category. Now we will get into it. Pretty Flock. And do me a favor, Pretty Flock. Do me a favor, Pretty Flock, man. Please wear fitted hats as much as possible. It's just a fashion tip from Mikey T. You know what I mean? Just a fashion tip from Mikey T. No freaky. I'm just trying to help you in the female department. You know what I mean? And then there's Leek Moss just sitting up there quiet the whole time because he knows if it wasn't for Cassidy, you know what I mean? He knows if it wasn't for Cassidy, my brother wouldn't have got his shot. He's like, I'm not scared of Cassidy, but that's Pretty Flocks, man. I'm not going to involve myself. Smart move, Leek Moss, because I would have been up here roasting you. Smart move. I was like, if Leek Moss starts dissing Cassidy, this is going to be straight comedy because I'm going to have to dish you because if it wasn't for Cassidy, nobody would know you either. Now, Queen's Flip asked him, he's like, Pretty Flock, he asked Cassidy, he's like, Pretty Flock, he was talking about how he felt like he was treated by you and how you treated some of the team members at the time, how they went to Canal Street and bought fake Jordans. You sent them there and sometimes they had to ask to take a shower. Had to ask to take a shower? Listen. Do you pay rent here? Is that your bathroom? Okay. I might be with my bitch later in that bathroom. My friend, they got homeless shelters for people like you. How is you taking a shower my problem? What? Explain that to me, Queen's Flip. Was he supposed to give this man a bubble bath and a rubber ducky and make sure he was squeaky clean? He's Pretty Flock. Isn't that his catchphrase? Squeaky! Isn't that his catchphrase? Squeaky! Oh, no, it's not. Squeaky! It's not. It's right. It's sneaky. Well, now it's squeaky. That's your new catchphrase because it's an accomplishment for you to stay clean. Listen to how this man sounds. He's complaining about his own personal hygiene as if Cassidy has anything to do with that. You see homeless people on the street, right? Everybody in it, you see homeless people on the street, right or wrong? I'm asking y'all in the chat right now, everybody listening. Everybody you walk by, a homeless person, let me ask you, do you tell him, hey, come to my house and take a shower? Anyone in the chat, anyone listen, have you ever done that in your life? Just listen to how this sounds, I can't believe this. Your underarms stink? I'll buy you a deodorant. Why do I care if the next man's underarms stink? What do you want me to do? Go to Rite Aid and buy you a speed stick? Sounds like a personal problem to me. You're not going to bag a bitch with no stinky underarms, I'll tell you that much. Those don't sound like Cassidy's problems. This ain't just, you know what I mean? This ain't just a Philly thing. A lot of people have this sense of entitlement, though. My man's is on, so my man's owes me. Man, please just stop with that mentality. And this doesn't just apply to Pretty Flock either. It applies to everyone. You know what I mean? And if you're friends with Dave East and you're not lit, blame it on yourself. Don't say Dave East isn't looking out for me. If you're friends with Jay-Z, don't be like, Jay-Z ain't looking out for me. Stop expecting people to look out for you. They're not your you're not their children. The days of people looking out, it's over. It is 2023. A box of Lucky Charms costs $13. You're never going to survive in this world if you're just reaching back for someone to help you. Why do you think I don't give a fuck? You know what I mean? Nori is on. Nori should look out for me and get me a podcast. Gilly has $1 million worth of game. Why doesn't he give Mikey T a podcast? Yeah, he could, but why should he? If I thought like that, and any of y'all, you know what I mean? If I thought like that, I'd never get anywhere in life. I'm going to get this shit on my own. It'll take a little longer, but I'll earn it. So when people ask me, Mikey T, this guy is on, but you're not. Vlad TV is on, but you're not. It's cool. I'll get there. I have my route. I don't take shortcuts in life. I grind it out. I don't care about none of that. I want to shine through my own talent, not because of who my man's is or shit talking people like Hassan Campbell. I don't take shortcuts in life, you guys. Hassan Campbell has never had a conversation with Lil Wayne. Queen's Flip said, before that day, he said he spoke to you a week prior to the interview. He was explaining how when he was younger, he felt how you handled the team might have been wrong. My opinion to him was Cassidy was young. And when you're young and money comes and stuff like that, we don't really know what he has to go through sometimes. We pocket watch. He said no because he's seen you get big checks and you didn't want to look out for the crew. Cassidy said, who was my crew? So, and we all know what happened in the whole situation with Cassidy and AR Rab. It was allegedly, or pretty much AR Rab has even said it. AR Rab pretty much said that his own homies actually snitched on them all. And Cassidy is pretty much going with that story. I don't believe, I can't remember who had said it first, but they both pretty much went with the same story, Cassidy and AR Rab. And you never really heard too much of Cassidy ever dissing AR Rab, just to point it out there. But Cassidy is right. When you're coming and doing these interviews, please at least come with the facts. At least come with the facts, because there's a dozen interviews out there. I've even done several interviews where he's discussed everything OBH with me. You know what I mean? But so a lot of people were involved with this situation and ratted because they were looking at it like they weren't satisfied, I would have to imagine. Because they weren't satisfied with the whole situation that was going down with AR Rab and Cassidy. And then, like Ab said in my interview, within a month, they actually caught some serious charges. Queen's Flip said he was on the road with you. He said he came to your house sometimes. You wanted him to go to shows. They all stayed in one room. He said him and AR Rab went to Canal and got a fake joint. Went to Canal and got fake joints. He said they was on the road with you and you didn't look out. So Queen's Flip is saying all of this right to Cassidy. And I got to say, okay, so that's what he claims. Big deal. He claims they went on the road and he didn't look out. But again, my question to you is, why should Cassidy look out for you? That's like saying I'm moving in with my girl and my girl's got to buy me Air Force Ones and my girl's got to pay my rent. Why should your girl have to do that for you? You're a grown-ass man. Listen to that Leech logic. That's Leech logic. Leech Moss, pardon me. It's not Leech Moss. Sorry. This is time. It's Pretty Flock we're talking about right now. You wore the fake clothes. You wore them. That means you have no self-dignity. Any gangster, any street dude, like Cassidy said in his own response, you couldn't force me to do that. Only someone with no dignity would do that. Go buy your girl a fake Gucci bag and see if she will rock with it. She will dump your ass. You're going to get no buns and you're going to go back to Canal trying to return your shit. Anyone in my chat, try that right now. Go to Canal, buy your girl a fake Gucci bag, and let me know how long your relationship lasts. Why didn't you just take the money and buy something real is my question. I can't comprehend some of the shit people on the internet say. I would never in my life admit to this shit on the internet. However many views is on Queen's Flip right now, all of them people know you are a certified sucker. Please don't try and go back and forth with me. Look at my thumbnail. Pretty Flock, aka the Canal Street Station. That's going to be your new name because Mikey T said so. When you see Pretty Flock, say, yo, Canal Street Station. Because when people see you, they're going to think of fake Air Force Ones. And here's the kicker, the crazy part. Real Air Force Ones back in the day were only like $85, $90. So my whole thing is like, what the hell? What the hell? The real ones are not even that expensive. Why would you buy fake ones? You know what I mean? That's like saying I'm going to buy fake Puma sneakers. Why? They're like $70. You can't afford real Jordans? Do what Hassan Campbell does. Wear Team Jordans. You know? Cassidy said, I got 2 different relationships with Pretty Flock and Ab. I knew Flock first. He's the one that introduced me to Ab. Yes, the same tired story that we hear every time Pretty Flock wants to do an interview. This guy begged me for years, over and over and over, just because I was doing interviews with Ab and Dark Low to do an interview with him so he could tell me some lame-ass story that he's now telling on Queen's Flip's channel. I'm sorry, I don't report bullshit like that to the news because of the fact that you were friends with Cassidy and you got mad at him. I don't report bullshit like that to the news. Excuse me, bro. Excuse me. But I really find it interesting that you go on Queen's Flip's channel and you tell them, I never told this story before. I never told this story before. What the hell is that? Why are you lying to Queen's Flip? And why is a supposed to be respectable brand like Queen's Flip even airing this shit? And then you got a multi-platinum artist coming up the next week. Man, you got to do better, man. because that's disrespecting our culture to be airing out some grievances of a former best friend, a former underling, somebody that was like a fifth or sixth best friend, probably. Someone who was introduced in the first time they met, they fought, so it was obvious competition. Like, come on, you got to, if you're a meteorologist, Queens Flip, you got to take some of this shit into consideration. So before you disparage another man's brand by just letting anybody tell a damn story on your channel. Meanwhile, anyways, so listen, Cassidy said, Pretty Flock, I raised him like he was one of my sons. Everything they seen him with, places they seen him, he never paid for none of them flights, none of them hotels. He never bought none of the stuff you seen him with on his own. So here's the part where Pretty Flock is supposed to be like, yeah, Cassidy, all of them flights was JetBlue. You should have had me on Delta first class. I wouldn't be surprised if Pretty Flock said something like that with his Leech mentality. It doesn't matter. The point is, you didn't pay. Somebody else did. Where is the gratitude? Look up the definition for the word gratitude, because you have none. You're the definition of a leech. And Cassidy, he realized it early on, and he said to himself, I'm going to be broke messing with these dudes. You want to know who Pretty Flock should be down with? The NMG clique, the non-money getters. Join up with the non-money getters, Pretty Flock. Why? He's a mediocre rapper, so he'll fit right in with J Hood. But here's the interesting part. This is another part I found interesting. Everybody in here, hit that like button right now. Hit the like button, show some love, and share this video with one friend. Here's the thing that's interesting. This is another part I found interesting. So now Queens Flip starts talking about a song with Wyclef. So Queens Flip, the only reason he's on the song, I think we both know, is because of Cassidy. Flip, do you think Wyclef woke up one morning like, I need a song with Pretty Flock? Do you? Do you think that Wyclef woke up one morning and said, I need to do a song with Pretty Flock, yo? Man, cut it out. You know, Cassidy said, all them years and years you can pull up. The YouTube exists. All them shits you pulled up from back in the day is because of me. And I'm not obligated to do nothing, Cassidy said. I came up with a pop not even raising me. How can they expect me to raise them like I'm their pop? But I still did a lot, showed them the world, took them out the hood, and showed them the science to get the bag. And you know what? This goes back to what I'm saying. You know, what I was just saying before. A lot of people never left their hood. A lot of people never left their hood, including you, Pretty Flock. Pretty Flock, probably the first time you ever went to Miami in your life was with Cassidy. Keep it a buck. Keep it a buck. I'm tired of dudes acting this way about Cassidy. Cassidy took y'all to Virginia, Miami, and y'all acting like Cassidy should have brought you to Dubai or something. Look at Max B. He never went to Miami until Jim Jones took him to Miami. All he knew was 144th in Lenox. So for all y'all that are going to tell me that it doesn't matter, oh, he took him to another state, you act like that's so hard to do. Pretty Flock where is your appreciation? If someone took me to the Hyatt or the Sheraton, do you think I'm going to complain like this ain't the Trump Plaza? If somebody bought me a gift, you know what I mean? If somebody bought me a gift, let's say an example like an Adidas shirt, do you think I'm going to complain that it's not Balenciaga? Pretty Flock, you strike me as the type of dude who would say that. You strike me as that type of guy. And I got to ask the question, where's the shame? Do you have no shame in your game? Do you think a come up is coming up off your man's? Huh? You're looking at him as a come up, man. You're like, yo, Cassidy is my right hand man. You're not supposed to look at your man as a come up. That's like saying every time I see Mikey T, he gives me free weed, right? Yo, every time I see Mikey T, he gives me free weed. Then you're like, I'm never going to buy weed and just come see Mikey T all the time because Mikey T is like, yo, I'll spark you up. Yo, here, take this. So now you're going to take advantage of that every time that you see Mikey T. You're like, he's a come up. Pretty Flock is saying Cassidy is an idiot. I don't be paying for any hotels when I'm down with him. I eat good burgers, all that when I'm with him. Cassidy made a good point, or a point that I actually want to kind of, kind of disagree with, I should say. Cassidy said, what do you think? You think when I got around Rough Riders and they were making millions of dollars, you think that they felt obligated to take care of me? You think when I signed to Swizz Beats, he felt obligated to take care of me like his baby? They didn't give me nothing. This industry is not about giving. And I just want to say, man, Swizz Beats really gave you everything. So I'm not really agreeing with you there, Cassidy. As far as the Rough Riders, I agree. You know, and I'll ask, why was J Hood D Block? Why wasn't Cassidy the fourth member of D Block? I'm actually still outraged to this day. Why? Cassidy could rhyme circles around J Hood. I still don't get why DNY didn't say this dude needs to be the fourth member of D Block. I just don't get it. I guess I get the fact that he's not from Yonkers, right? He's not from Yonkers. He can't be D Block. The entire D Block is from Yonkers. This guy is from Philly. It's a regional thing. You know what I mean? A part of me hates it because New Yorkers will always stick to, you know, their own block and they won't really embrace people from other towns or boroughs. They're like, but how is he going to be D Block? He's from Philly. Guys, and I'm just keeping it real with you here about everything, man. I'm not on here to bullshit. We're getting right to the center. We're getting right to the core of everything when I'm talking to y'all. I'm not on here to bullshit. He's like, how's he going to be down with D Block? He's from Philly. That's like the sole reason I want to say that he wasn't in D Block. But J Hood is from Yonkers, so we can get away with it, right? You know what I mean? And I just want to say, guys, this isn't one of them lives where I'm dissing J Hood, but I'll ask y'all right now in the chat, who was nicer, J Hood or Cassidy? Or maybe I should ask y'all, who should have been I'm going to ask y'all, should Cassidy have been in D Block as the fourth member or should J Hood have been in D Block as the fourth member? You know, he was actually on a bunch of mixtapes with them. And you know what, guys? J Hood doesn't have a drink in my two-step. J Hood doesn't have a hotel. It was actually a no-brainer, in my opinion, to put Cassidy down with them. He was a perfect fit. Now, somebody like Murder Mook. Let's talk about Murder Mook. And make sure y'all that are in here hit that like button. Make sure you guys hit that like button. I'm just saying, J Hood didn't have a drink in my two-step. He didn't have a hotel. I'm just keeping it real, guys. But now we're going to get into the Murder Mook conversation. Let me just shoot this link over to my guy, the co-host for tonight. All right, we're back to it. Murder Mook. Do you guys remember when Murder Mook signed to Rough Riders? I'll be honest with you, I was confused. Rough Riders, I mean, that's cool, but what ended up happening? What ended up happening with Murder Mook on Rough Riders, guys? Nothing happened. It was one of them things like, what the hell is going on? As far as Rough Riders not doing nothing for Cassidy, when he said that, that's a yes and no. You know, I think personally Cassidy should have stayed with Swizz Beatz. I don't know if you thought he was making you look soft, or I don't care about none of that shit, because in all honesty, you never heard Biggie said shit like that. You never heard Biggie say Puffy is making me look soft. You never heard Tupac say, I don't want to toss it up because Suge is making me look soft. You know? So getting back to it, Cassidy said, these dudes didn't have no paperwork to me. They wasn't signed to me. They wasn't my artist. I didn't get them no deals. I didn't have no responsibilities or connections to them. I just did that on the strength of they from the city. And I wanted to do it. So every time you saw Cassidy, guess what Cassidy said? Cassidy said, this is Larceny family. Right there. That's free promotion. He threw up the L. He made an L. He made a hand symbol for the Larceny family. But I'm going to say it. Shizlansky was the hardest in Larceny family. It wasn't you, pretty flock. So don't gas yourself up. Queen's Flip actually said, what were they around you for? Muscle? Friendship? Protection? Cassidy said, definitely wasn't around me for none of what you said. They wasn't around you for no muscle. When did you see them do something for me? I was running around with big chains and wild money in my pocket before I met Ab. The first time I met Nico, I fought him. Okay. See, Cassidy, you know, Cassidy, this part is cap, I gotta say. I think this is cap because Gilly actually went to your hood and made you look really bad. You know what I mean? That's one mistake that you made in your career, I gotta say. And to be real, you needed an army to go at Gilly the Kid. And Cassidy, Arab told Gilly, I'll fight you, Gilly. Cassidy doesn't want to fight you, but I'll fight you. So Arab stood up for you. Cassidy, I like you. You're my guy. But I have audio of Arab saying that. Again, I'm not trying to get all in between this shit. I don't care about Pretty Flock. Trust me, I don't care. But I do care about Arab and people who try to throw slick comments or belittle him. Cassidy, that right there wasn't warranted and it wasn't needed. Because again, there is audio of Arab saying, I told Gilly, yo, Cassidy doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to fight you, but I'll fight you for him. Which is why Gilly the Kid respects Arab. Gilly was like, word? Nah, I don't want to fight you. I just wanted to get at Cassidy. But Gilly respected that. Like, yo, he's a rider. He's a rider. Like, that's the shooter on Cassidy's team. That guy, Arab, is ready, willing, and able to jump out the window for Cassidy. You know, Arab was hella hungry. He was ready to eat by any means necessary. But Cassidy, you took too long to feed him. You gave him a scrap here and there. He wanted that signing bonus in advance, though. You know what I mean? He thought you were going to give it up. I respect it. You should have told, I respect it, but you should have told Ab, like, I'm not able to do that for you. You shouldn't have given him a false hope. Here's the thing that kind of irks me. Cassidy, did you never stop to think for 1 second? I got this big full surface chain. I got a gang of money. I got a bunch of money that I can't even fit in my own pocket, but my team is broke. Now, your team, Cassidy, I'm sorry to say this, but your team is a reflection of you. So if your team look bummy wearing fake Air Force Ones, it'll look like you're not feeding your team. And people will say, I don't want to be down with Larceny family. I don't want to be down with these guys. So you really got to be careful how you treat people around you, because whether you care about it or not, people will notice. Real ones like me will notice. So dudes like, yo, look at Mano. Look at Mano and look at his team hustle hard. You probably don't know one of the rappers of theirs, but get this, they're taken care of. When you see them, they're not complaining. You know what I mean? They're dressed fly. You got to treat your team right. Otherwise, don't have them around. They shouldn't be a part of your team. There has got to be an undying loyalty, something more than I'm getting a deal through him. I'm jacking him. Even if the deal doesn't work out, you should still stay loyal. Nico, when things didn't go your way and things didn't look right, you're like, oh, look at me, poor me. He should have did more. He should have did more. Cassidy had hotel. Where was my hotel? Go make one. Do you think DMX would have given Cassidy the Rough Riders anthem? So Cassidy said, everything that you ever seen me and Ab did came after they ratted on me. After we caught the murder case and they ratted on me, his homies that he vouched for, that was the first day I was about to take them to the studio. So all the music, all the videos, when you see him and drinking my two-step, when he's dancing and praying, he flew out to Cali and we was all there. They flew out there on my budget. They was out there in Cali running around on my budget, Cassidy said. The Larceny shirts they had came out of my budget. Hold up, Cassidy. Hold up. You mean to tell me? Man, I see what Cassidy was doing here. So Cassidy was like thinking to himself, you know what? I know they're rats. Both Cassidy and Arab even agreed on this, you guys. They agreed that some of Arab's older affiliates were rats. They were a little green. You know what I mean? They're not really ready for it. You know what I mean? I guess they got brought on a little bit early. So Cassidy was like thinking to himself, you know what? I know they're rats, but I'm still going to keep them around just to see if they know that I know. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Cassidy now knows, obviously, I can't trust these guys. These guys are rats. I can't trust these guys. I can't trust them. Once a rat, always a rat. And for those dudes that be like, yeah, but I don't care. They're like, oh, I don't care if he's a rat. He didn't rat on me. Right there, you guys, that is the dumbest logic in life. That is the dumbest logic ever. If he ratted on someone else, he will rat on you the same way. So when people say 6'9", people are like, I'm not 9 Trey. He didn't rat on me. I don't care. I just want to say you're an idiot if that's your logic. I hear a lot of people say stupid shit like that. The streets are not for everybody. The sidewalks are for people like you who say comments like that. Oh, but he didn't rat on me. Give him time. He will. That's like knowing your girl's a cheater. But she ain't cheat on me. But she will. because she cheated on somebody to get with you, so she'll cheat on your dumbass too. That's all I'm saying, y'all. That's all I'm saying, man. Cassidy said, so y'all owe me. You talking about what I could have did more? You should have did more. Your homies ratted on me. And that's why I disconnected myself. Right there, Cassidy explaining why he went on to disconnect himself. And now you see him in jail because someone else ratted on him. It's a continued situation. Cassidy was talking about Taz in that situation, who had become a part of ARAB's crew allegedly. Personally, I think Taz was just a fanboy. Dark Low had told him, stay the hell away from OBH. You are not OBH. You are somebody that I met in jail, is what Dark Low told him. Kid became a fanboy. All right. So I want to say, all right, so listen to this. Cassidy said, I went to jail because they ratted on me, and I still stood tall. You didn't hear me make one statement. I didn't even plead the fifth. You heard these guys ratting, facing 1 to 2, telling on everybody. I was fighting life without the possibility of the death penalty. I think he misinterpreted those words there. And I didn't make one statement because I'm sturdy. I ain't obligated to do nothing for nobody. And guys, everybody in here, hit that like button. Appreciate everybody tapping in. Let me know what city and state you're coming in from. This is another thing for everyone in the comments saying Cassidy is soft. This is for everybody saying Cassidy, he is not real. Let me tell you why he is not soft. He beat a murder trial without snitching on anybody. If you jumped a turnstile, you'd rat. You'd rat on the token booth clerk. So for those of y'all Pretty Flock fans that's going to say Cassidy is soft, I'm not believing none of that shit, because guess what? 6ix9ine caught a charge. He ratted. Cassidy didn't. Cassidy is an extinct species. Cassidy, you know what? You should call your next album Extinct Species, because Cassidy knew, he knew if I rat on somebody and I come home, I'm going to get boomed. A, I'm going to get boomed. B, my rap career is definitely done. Everything I worked so hard for is going to go down the toilet. So I'm going to stand tall. I'm going to take my charge, whatever the outcome may be. And I got to say, that's gangster, y'all. And then some people are going to say, oh, Cassidy's soft. You're going to be the ones on the flip side. Cassidy be like, yo, Cassidy is stupid. He should have ratted. This is you on the flip side. Cassidy should have ratted. The same ones that are going to be like saying goofy shit like Casanova, the big ape. He's stupid, yo. He should have ratted and came home. Yo, why is he standing tall? Why? He should rat. That's what y'all are going to say, right? And he should just tell on someone so he can come home. Listen, they made sidewalks for people like you. They made sidewalks for people that make comments like that. Please stay off the street. Please. You're effing it up for the real ones. I'm begging you. And for those of y'all who are going to say Casanova ratted, get out of here. Those of y'all are going to say Bobby Shmurda is stupid. He should have ratted on Rowdy Rebel. Again, Cassidy, Bobby Shmurda, Casanova, their names are not for your mouth. You and them are not the same. So everybody started to clap. Everybody literally started to clap after Cassidy made that statement. Everyone started to clap, even G Money. And Flip is like, y'all are clapping? Hold on. G Money's like, I felt it. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You ever heard anyone clap on Queen's Flip show? As long as I've been watching it, I've never heard anybody clap in unison. That means agreement, guys. I never seen anyone clap in agreement on Queen's Flip's channel. And this shows me the level that Queen's Flip didn't like that they clapped. And he's like, y'all are clapping? Really? We couldn't see them clapping on camera, but we heard it. So now Queen's Flip feels the need to address it because everyone is going to hear it on the playback. If he edits it out, then he's like, DJ Academics, edit it out like DJ Academics, right? Nah, you're not going to do that. But now he's got to address the people clapping. G Money barely said anything during Pretty Flock's interview. He sat there and listened to Pretty Flock cry while Queen's Flip did the Math Hoffa thing like, oh, word, Flock. Damn, they owe you 60 G's. Damn, they had you rocking Canal Street shoes. Damn. The same thing he does when Hassan Campbell goes up there. Damn, Hassan Campbell, poor you. Y'all got to be neutral. If I was Cassidy, I would have felt the way too. You know, you could tell Cassidy was angry. You're up here talking about a Wyclef song. You know what I mean? And I know Queen Flip is known for being funny, but don't y'all realize when Flip doesn't see a way out, he like tries to joke his way out of something? I don't like the way he tries to joke his way out of a serious matter. You know, Queen's Flip personality is very intriguing. It's like if you know his antics and his tactics, you know. But if you're just an outsider watching Queen's Flip for the first time, you'll be like, damn, this guy is trying to do Cassidy dirty. It's not just Cassidy he does it with, though. He does it with everybody. But when it's a serious topic, you kind of got to know when to fall back. So they got into it here too, because Queen Flip was like, hold on now. There was a situation where somebody got hurt and you said they ratted on me. Cassidy's like, there's wild interviews. You acting like you watching interviews. You heard Ab say my homies told on him before. He said in blogs, I seen that one where he said my homies told on Cassidy. And me and my homies got us both locked up. Do your research. The paperwork is out. Dudes act like they want to be big private investigators. Look at the paperwork. Who made a statement? I'm free outside and I get a warrant and I get locked up because someone told. Who told? I just want to say, Queen's Flip, in all fairness, you know, when you have these guys on your platform, you have to know the basics. You have to know the stuff, or else it's going to lead to answers like this. Cassidy is being cocky. He is flexing on Flip. He is not flexing on Flip. That's what people are saying. He's flexing on Flip. He is saying factual things. The reason he acted like that is because there's a time for play and a time to be serious. The man almost went to jail for the rest of his life. You could see Cassidy was irritated because Cassidy is now in his mind trying to figure out, why are you being so loyal to Pretty Flock and Leek Moss and these dudes? Why do you want me to answer questions about these men? Like, why are we not talking about my new battle, my new rap, my new album, or why I left Swiss Beats? Anything else? Like who I'm dating, anything else? Why do you feel the need every time? It's like they're interviewing Jay Hood and like, oh, we got to talk about Sheik Luch. That shit irritates Cassidy. It's probably why he doesn't do a lot of interviews in the first place, because he knows every interview he does, people are going to ask the same shit. And on top of that, they're not even informed. But guys, I want to bring in my co-host, my guy, the hood blogger, SV Twiz. What's popping, bro?
Salute. Much love and respect. Mikey, what's good, bro? What's good? Can you hear me clear?
Yep, you're clear,
Okay,
bro.
okay. What's
I am
good?
joined by SV Twiz, everybody, the Hood Blogger, everybody. Make sure you tap in on the Hood Blogger YouTube page. But most of
Definitely.
y'all should be familiar with my guy. What's popping tonight, man? I seen you did
Oh,
a video on this a few days ago.
oh yeah, definitely, man. Shout out to the chat first and foremost, man. Yeah, I did a John talking about it and all that. It was a definitely a interesting topic. Because it been spoken on years ago, and in the city of Philly, we didn't heard a lot of things through the grapevine and everything, but now we getting a lot of different perspectives of what's going on, of what happened, should I say. I know it's old news, but now it's like things is getting more dug into. So
Appreciate everybody tapping in, everybody recognizing my book.
salute. Glerko was good.
So I'm gonna throw a couple questions at you, Twiz.
Okay.
Let's see. But other than that, give me a little basic breakdown of what your video was for everybody that might not have seen it yesterday.
Okay, so once again, shout out to the chat, man. You can check the video on my YouTube page at the Hood Blogger, and shout out to OBH, man, and shout out to Cassidy. I basically gave an unbiased opinion, and I was like pretty much breaking everything down on what I thought about the whole situation that happened. Because for those of y'all that was fans of Ab and also fans of Cassidy, it was that once upon a time where they was together all the time. Like Cass and Ab was together. How Dark Low and Ab used to be together. You always saw them back when Swiss was still around and cutting through the trenches with them back in the DVD era. We even got to see a battle with AR Ab. You know what I mean? With Cass and Swiss and them was there trying to calm them down. This was right after they spanked the body and all that. So my whole thing was this. I was like, man, it seemed like they was real cool, bro. Like before the downfall of everything. Like if y'all really peep game before Ab did the New Year's Eve this, where he had the whole OBH in there and was pretty much exposing what happened with Cassidy. If y'all noticed, like 3 weeks to a month prior to that, y'all continuously saw them together. They appeared on the Come Up show together. Ab got hit up. Ab got shot up when he pulled out the colostrophe bag and all of that. And they was in the trenches. You seen Cassidy pulling up and being right there with him. He might not have came and gave Ab $100,000 or no money at all, but he showed up, as a homie should after you deal with something like that. So it was like we saw them together a lot, and then all of a sudden, Cass and Meek go through their little issue, and Meek said what he said on the diss track, and then after the diss track, Ab came out and did that blog. Now, my whole thing is this: like, we see Ab as a street guy. He definitely from the streets, just like we all are from the inner cities. But one thing we leave out from AR Ab is, Ab is smart. He's smarter than the average guy. You know, um, just because y'all hear how he talk on them DVDs and how he carry himself, he really sit down and analyze things before he do it. That's why, regardless of what people say, what he was saying on them blogs and stuff like that, it was a working recipe. He boosted his stock so high to the point where he was able to sit and do bets with Birdman and stuff like that, bro. Like these celebrities ain't paying no underground rappers from Philly this time of day no real attention like that. You know what I mean? But everybody,
He was able to get with Cassidy, you know what I mean? So he must have been able to do that shit.
exactly, and I mean like as far as even after that where he brought attention to the city. So at this time I'm looking at it like it must have been a chess move to where he did that as far as exposing Cassidy because he realized it was nothing left there. That Cass could really help benefit his career because he was getting attention. Um, Ed been out for years before a lot of people knew who he was. A lot of people didn't even know who AR was until that blog came out where he dissed Cassidy. And I mean as far as the world, but Ed been out since like '01, '02. Like he been out as long as Meek been out. And I mean Flamers days and stuff like that. So, you know, that's pretty much what I had touched up on as far as it being a chess move with everything, basically it being business more than personal, and the shock value that he got from that, and that also is why I feel like that led to how he carried himself on interviews. Period. You know what I mean? That boosted a lot more to his career than just putting out music. That's what helped him have that it factor and gain the attention. Because we people talk about how reckless he talked at the all the way up to the end. That joint with Cassidy, that was a reckless joint. The stuff he was talking about on that joint was, you know, some stuff people just don't talk about on camera, but he didn't care, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, like I kind of looked at it like, when 50 Cent had got signed with M and Dre,
hmm
and he had come out of, getting shot and come out of getting, in jail. He knew he was never going back.
hmm
That's kind of how I looked at it with AR Rab for a while, when I first did my interview with AR Rab, when he had got home and, he was hot and he was, getting all them features. Cause, Ab had a lot of moments where he was hot when he first got, before he went to jail, when he got
hmm
home from jail, when Drake lit him up, you know what I mean? All these
facts.
different, but so Twiz, I'm gonna take you back. Twiz, do you think Cassidy would have been a better member of D Block as opposed to J Hood?
Yeah, he would have. You mean like if it was him instead of Hud?
Yeah, that's exactly
Oh
what I
yeah,
want you to
yeah,
dig in.
definitely, definitely. He was cast way hotter than Hud. Hud was that guy. Don't get it twisted. Definitely was a J Hud fan, but Cassidy, come on, bro. Cassidy was a different animal at that day and time. Oh, definitely. Cass would have been dangerous if he was on D Block. And that's what everybody really wanted to see. We wanted to, even with Hood being there, you ain't even got to take Hood out of it. He could have been in D Block. It could have been Cassidy and Hood. It would have been dangerous. Listen, y'all, picture back then, state property, D Block. Rockefeller, D Block, whatever y'all want to call it. Picture if Cass was a fourth member of D Block at that time, and now you got Cassidy in those diss tracks going back and forth with state property. And this is, freeway battle time and all of this stuff. So, picture how dangerous that would have been, because Cass was a dangerous guy, especially when it came face to face. And when it came to mixtapes, that's what he did. He might not have been the best song maker, but mixtapes and battling, yeah, that's exactly what they would have needed.
All right. So, what about when it comes to who was nicer? Who do you think was outshining the other on a mixtape when it comes to
Cassidy,
J Hood and Cassidy?
Cassidy, Cassidy, definitely. Hood. The difference between Cassidy and Hood, we always counted on J Hood as a great feature artist with the locks. Like niggas ain't really sit down and listen to Hood, just straight Hood songs. Like I can't count 5 songs on a mixtape where it's just Hood by himself and he wrecking the whole track. He's always featured on the locks track, but Cassidy will be walking Jones down his by himself. You know what I mean? Cassidy could do a whole mixtape by himself with no features, and the streets gonna love it. Hood was always a feature artist.
Yeah, that's what I had said a little bit earlier. I was talking about the fact that J Hood never had my drink and my two step. He never had a hotel.
Even on the mixtape stuff, even without like the the what they call the bubblegum music or the commercial songs, we can go to the mixtapes and it's not Hood just blacking out by himself. He's always there with Kiss, Chic, you know what I'm saying, and Styles. He's always there with them as a team. And not to discredit Hood, because Hood was nice, bro. Like Hood was nice. But it wasn't too many people that was messing with Cassidy back then. And he was automatically, when it came to like, he jumped right to the level of Kiss and Styles and them. You know what I mean? So he was more seasoned than Hood.
Just to wrap this up, Twiz, think do you think that J Hood jumped the gun when he walked out on D Block?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He broke the loyalty code, and he didn't look at the bigger picture, and he wasn't happy for his blessings. And this is what I mean. You pretty much was on the Locks top. You knew who they was. He did the interview where he talked about he sat and waited for them. He went to Sheik crib. He did this and did that, and finally got in a position and he demanded more. Instead of chilling and playing his part, anybody, for one, if you sign to the Locks, you got to look at the big picture, bro. You not signed to a billionaire label. You know what I'm talking about? Like they was just getting out of a sticky situation, and even to this day, they are not the richest artists. As great as they are, they was never rich. They was never the richest rappers, and you never heard about them going at each other for music. So I mean, for money. So they carry themselves in a certain manner. So the loyalty and the relationships is more important than you thinking that you should have got that 50,000, than you thinking that you should have got that 20,000, because it's a lot when it comes to these rappers and artists. It's a lot of money that a lot of them don't receive. It's a look at what they went through with Diddy. I mean, they was able to sit there and rap with Big. They was able to sit there and rap with the original Mason. You know what I mean? So they've been in the game for years. So that's just, you got to take bumps and bruises, but you became J Hood through them. You couldn't walk down the street without people noticing you. You know what I mean? So I think he should have played his part. He definitely jumped ship too early, and it should have been more of an inside thing with him taking it on camera like that. Um, you can't do that with them type of guys because they loyalty over everything.
Twiz, what do you think about Cassidy leaving Swiss Beats? Do you think it was the wrong move? Was Cassidy better with or without Swiss Beats behind him?
At the time when Cass left, I think Cass realized that the business, it wasn't going to add up because he had too many forks in the road. Um, when you sign to these people and when you're under people, they expect you to to be able to bring in revenue. So when your stock is dropping, Cassidy as a rapper, his stock started dropping. He wasn't accumulating no revenue, bro. So it was really in his best interest to pretty much split, because the longer you under somebody, it's like the more you owe that person. So he was just trying to, I guess, do his own thing and build his stuff brick by brick. So yeah, I think it was time for him to go, definitely.
Yo, Twiz, why is it that grown men feel that just because somebody is their man, that they should be automatically taken care of? You know what I mean? Why do you think that is?
I think because, truthfully, I think like it's like when you in the hood and you growing up, and say me and you, we brothers, we homies. Now, I jump off the porch earlier. What I mean by jump off the porch is I got an old head, and now he introduced me to the game, and now I'm hustling. But you my homie, but you don't got no connections to what I got going on. So most of the time, your homie expect you to put them on and put them in position. The thing is, when you jump into something like the rap industry or other forms of profession, it don't work how it work in the streets. You know what I mean? You can get a $100 million contract right now for your podcast, and I might want to be down with you, but it might not work like that. So it's up to me to not get emotional. Realize we still brothers, that it could be issues with you putting me under the contract. Sometimes I might have to wait 6, 7 years. You know what I mean, for you to even be able to pull me up. So I think that most of the time we get that the streets, how we came up in the streets, confused with how it works with actual professional business.
So Twiz, do you think it's unfair that these individuals like Pretty Flock, expect so much from Cassidy when realistically they have, gave Cassidy nothing in exchange?
I think when it comes to Pretty Flock, I think the craziest thing about the whole situation is like this. Okay, Flock, you came up with Cass. We understand that. I remember seeing him on the DVDs back then, and he never really stood out. You just known him as Cassidy Man. It's like how Av had 100 rappers he put on or introduced. It don't mean that a person gonna be like, oh, I like that guy. I like how he rap. Just because you around that person don't mean that people was gravitating to you as an artist. But I think the craziest thing with what was said with Flock is Queen's Flip had asked him like, "Well, did you ever say anything to him?" And he said no. So my whole thing is this: a closed mouth doesn't get fed. You know what I'm talking about? You can't sit here and hold a grudge or be upset with somebody when you didn't address them or talk about it with that person at the time when it was active. You ever go through something with somebody where a person might say something to you and they'd be like, damn, bro, I felt like this, and it happened a while ago. It'd be like, damn, I didn't know you felt like that. That's
Twiz,
the
I
shit.
went I went through some shit like that with Bangum Smurf. You kidding
That's
me?
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Facts. Facts.
we got
Facts.
Rick Ross. Rick Ross, we're
Facts.
all in the same hotel. MMG had bought us like 6 hotel rooms. Everybody had their own room. Smurf, all of us had our own room. Dre Films, Mass Pike
Damn.
Miles, Kano, Ross, Gucci Poochie. Everybody had their own room. And I'm like, yo, Smurf, let's go talk to Ross. Let's go
Damn.
talk to him about our business with Feed the Wolves and MMG. And he doesn't want to go talk to him. It's like, what? Just like you said, closed mouths don't get fed.
Facts. Closed mouths don't get fed, and I don't understand. How Flock could even be in a position to speak bad about him. It's more understandable with AR. You know, AR situation with Cass is a lot different than Flock's situation from Cass. Flock and Cass, they was really homies. They came up together. So it's nothing to tell your homie like, damn, bro, like, you know what? Like, we've been on tour, bro. I got like $60 to my name. Can we need to work out something? And that's, whether it's some type of business or, you can assign him jobs. Like, certain rappers, they'll have you like, bro, you handle the luggage, you handle this. Where some people might feel like they flunkies doing certain jobs, but at least you can give somebody a title and put them on some kind of payroll, even if it's not a natural rapper. But if you just sitting and you with this guy, and if you say, yo, we going to Canal Street, and after that we going here, and nobody is saying nothing, it's going to, is he going to read your mind and be like, he not feeling this? We all men. So it was his obligation to say something. So as far as years later acting like it was such an issue, I don't see how much sense that make. You know what I mean? And
So
that's just with Flop.
So, Twiz, this whole situation, you know what I mean? There's been the rumors of the Canal Street trip,
Hmm.
the fake Air Force Ones.
Hmm.
So, we're going to talk about that, man. I want to throw a hypothetical your way. Twiz, if I give
Hmm.
you $500 and I told you, yo, Twiz, go to the infamous area called Canal Street. Now, go to this area, and it's known for selling bootleg items. If I gave you $500 and told you to purchase as much fake clothing items as you could, would you do it for yourself? Would
No,
you wear that shit? What would you do?
I wouldn't do it. I would do what I want with it, whether it's out, you might have to pay a cell phone bill. You might want to get some herb, anything. Once that bread get put in your hand, it's up to you what you want to do with it. You know what I mean? That's definitely a no-no. And people not really, when you go to Canal Street, like people knew what you was going to get. So your whole time on your way up there, you're getting some fake stuff.
Why not just go to the
Tough.
Levi store? Why not just go
Yeah, and
to
back then,
Adidas?
Yeah, back then we had stores. We went to like City Blue, like Forces, man. Forces, they was what, $120 back then. You know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
think they're
They
more like
wasn't,
90.
yeah, they wasn't even like it wasn't how it is this day and time. Like you get a pair of some, you want some New Balances or something like that, you paying like 220. Like price is different nowadays. But back then you can get a pair of some fresh sneaks for $100, 120, sometimes 80. You know what I mean? And it was a different day and time back then. So I truthfully I think that got twisted because um I don't think the Canal Street thing was like they was giving the money and went up there. I believe I heard, and quote me if I'm wrong, I heard Ab say that it was like Cass was giving them all these fake joints from Canal Street. So I don't think that he gave them bread and was like,
Exactly.
go ahead up there.
The
Hmm.
story is getting so flipped, and
It
that's why
is.
I was saying like earlier, like you really that's why Cassidy kind of flipped out on Queen's Flip,
Hmm.
because he's like, there's so much information about this out there. You got Cassidy coming on your show, you should be going and doing all the research for it. And
Facts,
Queen's
facts,
Flip literally said on the show, he's like, oh, all the research I have is just what Nico said. It's like, come on,
facts,
man. You got Cassidy.
facts.
This is a multi-platinum recording artist. This is one of the biggest artists in the culture. And you put on his best friend just to try and make him look like shit. Like, I don't think that's cool.
Well, when it come to Cassidy and you asking Cassidy them kind of questions, um, he's gonna get in defense mode because what a lot of people probably don't know is, yeah, he got support in Philly, but he had a bunch of like Philly is a love hate city, bro. Like when at once upon a time, Cass had Philly in the palm of his hand. Once upon a time, you couldn't walk down the street without hearing "I'm a hustler" on somebody next tail chirp going off. But so many things transpired where you didn't see, you never saw Cass get smacked or something taken from him or nothing like that. But you heard a lot of people that they try to discredit him, and this is don't got nothing to do with like nothing even with like Ab and them. Like you seen the joint where him and Gil went through the situation and they saw Gilly come to his block. So people, that was at a time when people wasn't doing stuff like that. So people gonna look at Cass like, bro, you don't get no respect. Not understanding that the people who block he came from, the people that was out there was no different than the situation like with Flock is saying, like, damn, bro, you up now, show us love. When people didn't know really how much money Cass had, bro. Like a person, me and you both could have 50,000 right now, and you could make it look greater than me. Like to the point, like, damn, bro, you sure you ain't have 80,000? You know what I mean? And that's
Yep.
what I think happened with Cass, where people thought that he had a lot more than what he had,
You
and
could
he
think someone
always
has 5 million and then they only have 50,000.
exactly, and he always talked big talk. Even with the doghouse got a backyard. You know what I mean? It was just like he always talked heavy like that, and they don't realize that a lot of that stuff he was getting stuff through the label, through the deal. You know what I mean? And he was never no he didn't touch Meek money rapping. Like Meek touched more money than him rapping,
Yeah,
and Meek
because
can't even take.
Cassidy kind of got screwed over, Twiz, when his big single "I'm a Hustler" took off and he got
Mhm.
thrown in jail. He wasn't able. If he didn't get thrown in jail for those 10 months, he probably could have made $7-8 million in that time frame just
Yeah,
the record. So he
he
lost
he
out on a big chunk of money by going to jail for that 10 months.
he could have, but he also was an artist that struggled from making great mainstream music. Like Meek, when Meek came out with like the Dreams and Nightmares, like his original albums, he
That
hit
was
main.
that was Cassidy level, but his next album is where he went to levels that Cassidy could never reach.
That's what I'm saying. Like his songs had the world going crazy. Cassidy mixtapes was everything back then. His even when he had songs that was out, the streets was waiting for his mixtapes. You know what I mean? it was very few artists that had both. Like Jeezy was somebody that was able to have both. Cassidy always struggled. Like we seen what Cassidy did to Freeway in the battle, and shout out to Freeway, no disrespect, but we saw what happened face to face. Even if Freeway didn't go to rap on Hot 97 earlier that day, Cass would have still smoked him. He probably would have gave a lot of state property, not
Oh,
probably.
that's debatable.
No, it was no material. Like Freeway style of material was not ready. It's like when we talk about URL rappers and stuff, it's just certain you could be a great artist, but you can't stand in front of a certain style of rapper. Cassidy was that style of rapper where his Cassidy raps was disrespectful. Freeway's raps was not disrespectful. You
Yeah,
gotta disrespect. Yeah, like
the only thing with Cassidy's music was like, you know, you say everybody was waiting for the mixtapes. Yeah, there's tens of thousands of people waiting for the mixtapes, but that's why he needs to knock it out of the park with his official albums when he's coming out with
facts.
Hotel and Can't Get No
And
Better and I'm a
and
Hustler and B-Boy Stance. He's got, because you know, when he changed his style on his fourth album and made the
mhm,
Cash album, he kind of seemingly went to that mixtape format that he was using on that
facts.
album. Correct me if I'm wrong, but then that album undersold his first three albums.
Facts, it did, and that's what I was getting into. Where we saw the battle with him and Free, but Philadelphia Freeway album is better than any album that Cassidy ever put out. The body, the structure, and the body of that work was excellent. To this day, I can still listen to Philadelphia Freeway, where
Well,
nobody's gonna.
I will argue that Cassidy's albums were merely platforms to host his major singles. Whereas Freeway had a complete dope body of work. Cassidy just needed somewhere to, you know, a body of work for $20 to put Hotel on and to put I'm a Hustler on and to put My Drink and My Two Step on. You know what I mean? He needed like a
Yeah,
platform to go and sell that because they used to use the single to sell the album rather than just sell the single.
true, true. That's a fact. That's a fact. And I'm just pausing real quick because I got to get up for 1 second, Mikey.
All right, that's
All
cool,
right.
brother. All right, so as soon as Twiz gets back in here, I'm going to grill him with some more questions that I have. Again, I appreciate everybody for tuning into this live tonight. I got my part out. The first half of this live podcast, I got my shit off. So now I got Twiz in. He actually has a channel. It's called The Hood Blogger. Y'all can go check it out. He actually did a reaction video yesterday that he put out, and I was watching it. I had done some notes, wrote down some things that I wanted to get off my chest as well. But Twiz is, you know, he's my co-host from Philly. So obviously I wanted, you know, to give him this platform as well. And we might be reviewing Tony Yayo, The Loyal. We might be reviewing Tony Yayo's new album, The Loyal. I'm going to talk to a couple of the guys on the team and see who would be interested in listening to Tony Yayo's new album. After what Twiz just said, we might have to do a versus on Freeway's first album and Cassidy's first album, though. But I would have to agree with what Twiz was saying there. And also, my thoughts on Cassidy's albums, that's very interesting that I had said that about the fact that his singles just needed a platform to arrive on. Yes, I'm a Hustler was fire, my dude. I see y'all in the chat. It's all good, bro. I appreciate you tapping in, Barry. It's all good. Appreciate you tapping in nonetheless. I was saying it a little bit earlier. Cassidy got locked up. Cassidy had got locked up and he wasn't able to, you know, promote the I'm a Hustler album while he had a major single out. And he lost the ability to make hundreds of thousands and into millions of dollars. This is what I'm smoking right now, you guys. It's that official Collins Ave, the Ricky Rose strain. He's got a few different strains. This one, I noticed this batch was actually pretty good. I wasn't really feeling it last time. I was like, come on, Rose. Don't make me have to give you a bad review on the Chronic, man. Because I remember one time when I was at Rick Ross's house and we were both walking outside of his crib. He had come down and we was both walking out side by side because he was having a pool party. I lit up my weed and he lit up his weed. It was a movie, y'all. So yeah, so Ross has a couple different weeds: lemon pepper, pink rose, Collins Ave, and this all-time high one. And this is another strain that I'm smoking on right now. This is a sativa, so I'm gonna smoke that shit in the morning. Yo, Twiz, everything Gucci?
Yeah, everything good, Mikey. My fault.
Nah, no worries, brother. So yo, Twiz, can you tell me what you remember about the Larceny family?
Um, Definitely. I remember them. It was like a underground all-star team. I remember them mixtapes back then. Um, we had Shiz Akbar and them. You had AR. Um, I don't remember all their names, but it just I remember all of them. They all had punches. They was all punching on there, like, and Cassidy was the punchline champion back then. You know what I'm saying? And I remember, I forgot who said this bar, but they was like, don't worry about how many gas this crook has. You just need to know I stay strapped like book bags. And that was like a heavy joint right then. I remember that joint stood out. I forgot who did that. But I remember just hearing people go off on them joints. It's like, I definitely would remember Larceny family. And that's what Cassidy always pushed. He always said Larceny.
Yeah, every time you saw Cassidy, Cassidy was like, "This is Larceny family." That right there is free
Facts.
promotion in itself. He threw the L up. He made a whole hand symbol for the Larceny family. And I want to say Shiz Lansky was the hardest in the Larceny family.
Okay. I think that was yeah, that was like one of the biggest names I always remember. Yeah, I mean, I really don't remember none of the other names, and I don't even know if Ad was considered yeah, Ad probably was considered a Larceny family because I know, back in the day, Ab always had that full surface chain, like, you know what I'm saying, early 2000s.
So Cassidy said this on Queen's Flip show, Twiz. He said, "But I'm not benefiting from doing anything for nobody. So no matter what they said, it doesn't matter because it don't add up to nothing. And if I gave you a 50-cent bag of chips, how much did it cost? What is it? $1.25 for some chips? I bought them for you. You never bought me nothing or gave me nothing in your life ever. I'm up. You owe me. I gave you a bag of chips. You never gave me nothing. How could you argue and complain?" So, Twiz, let me ask you, man.
Hmm.
I want to ask you, Twiz, does Pretty Flock strike you as the type of person who would complain about a handout? You know what I mean? Is he the type of person to say, "I'm only getting $180 in food stamps, and they're giving Mikey T $280 in food stamps"?
Well, yeah, obviously, from what we see now, obviously he probably was, upset, and that, like I said, it wasn't nothing ever said to Cassidy. Um, like I said, that's where the biggest disconnect came in. That if you riding around with, it's like this, bro. Like, Cass is the type of person where you got to sit down and talk to them. It's like that with certain people where if they don't take it, like, for instance, we spoke on Free earlier. Free was just talking about how he was rapping with around Jay-Z and State Property wasn't even signed. When they went up Hot 97 and all that, the same day he battled Cassidy, he wasn't even signed to Rockefeller yet. He said one day Dame was like, "Damn, we ain't signed you yet." And they signed him, but he put the work in. So I feel as though, if he was on some rap and stuff, like Flock felt as though he was putting music out. Cass is your man. It's like, damn, bro, like, what's up with a deal? Like, can we get some type of something, put on paper or something like that? You know what I mean? Because it's like this. If I come to your crib every day and I sweep out front of your house and I just keep doing it, I'm like, "Hey, what's up, Mikey?" I sweep my porch, then I come sweep your porch. "Hey, what's up, Mikey?" I can't get mad and be in the crib talking to my wife. Like, you know what? I've been sweeping Mikey porch for 6 months. He ain't give me nothing. He parking a Benz out front of his house. You know what I mean? It was nothing. It was no communication of business, which I understand that, he felt as though he was probably obligated, especially with that being his homie. But some people, it's like, if we didn't do nothing, Cass felt as though what he was doing was enough favors, and that's for having him in the presence. That's for, introducing him to relationships of other artists and having them in these certain places where, the right hustler that make good enough music would have made it happen anyway, truthfully. You know what I mean? Because if your talent gonna outshine itself, and that's one thing that Cassidy, left out, where I heard Cass say that the Rough Riders ain't do nothing for him or nothing like that. But at the end of the day, his talent was enough for them to want him. He was talented. That's one thing for sure. You know what I mean? The world wanted to hear what he had to say on wax. And I think that Cash should have kept it more of a stack for somebody like Flock. If he probably felt as though Flock wasn't a profitable artist. Like, bro, you can rap, you my man, but even if I put you under contract, you not going to gain no revenue. Only you gonna ride my coattail. You know what I mean? It's like, you not what can you do to
Yeah.
make us multimillionaires? And that's what it really boiled down to. That's why I said it would have been best for him to have jobs for people and learn how to pay them. If he was going to have them around him, if you could pay them through another form of income instead of out his own pocket.
Yeah, and I had said the same thing about AR Rab. You know what I mean? Like, if
Mm-hmm.
Cassidy wasn't going to be able to facilitate him with the deal that he knew Ab wanted, he should have
Okay.
kept it real with him. You know what I mean? If
Well,
he didn't think Nico was a good rapper, like you're saying, rather than beat around the bush, you should
mm-hmm.
either create a new job for him, let him know rapping's not for him. You know what I mean? Create another job for him though as well. You know
Facts.
what I mean? We've seen
Facts.
that done a lot, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of things that artists and need around them when it comes to drivers, different things of that nature.
Facts. Now, AR situation was a lot different. That is someone that I think that he should have definitely gave Ab money. And these are the reasons why he should have gave Ab money. He didn't come out the sandbox with Ab. He was mutually introduced to Ab through Flacco, right? Now, when the interview that Mikey T actually got out, and make sure y'all check it out. I'm pretty sure y'all did, but if y'all didn't, y'all hear Ab say that Cass was like, bro, I need people like you around me. He seen that Ab wasn't no sucker. Ab was the muscle. Ab was regardless if Cass want to say it or not, Cass had Ab around for protection. So it's just like when Diddy had people like Wolf and them around him, Gene Dill, whoever. You hit these people off with bread. These are the people that's going. It's like how if Beanie Siegel wasn't a rapper, how he was with Jay-Z. He was like, you're not playing with Jay-Z, bro. Like, the same way with Ab, you wasn't playing with Cassidy. Ab is somebody that put his neck out there for him. And regardless of what happened with the case when they did get arrested, when Ab came home, Ab should have received the check. Ab should have been good. Ab should have been the Memphis Bleak to Jay-Z. You know what I mean? And even though Bleak was his homie, Bleak wasn't muscle, but Ab was muscle. That's a fact. I don't understand why Cash try to hide that fact. That's where it get bad at. That's the only thing that it look crazy. Now that's why I say Ab situation is different than Flock situation.
Yeah, Ab is one of those situations where he's like mistakenly muscle though, Twiz, because he was so
Facts.
talented. You know what I mean? That Cassidy had somebody right. He brought Meek Mill to Cassidy. You know what I mean? That's just
Facts. He did.
one of the efforts that he did. When you
He
say
did.
go bring money to the table, that's what Ab was trying to do, bring money to the
He
table.
he did. He did it. And something great could have happened with Meek, but at that time, we know Cassidy is a cocky guy, so it's like he not interested in nobody else. You know what I mean?
He
Especially
was
at that
looking for his
time.
next hotel. He was looking for his
Yeah,
b-boy stance.
exactly. He like, I'm the best in the world. There's no, I don't care about none of these other little guys coming up from my city for real, for real. But Ab had his ear to the streets and he knew what was going on. So yeah, he definitely owed Ab a lot more.
Hmm, that's interesting. So this is another part. Queen's Flip said, "What were they around you for? Muscle, friendship, protection?" Cassidy said, "Definitely wasn't around me for none of what you said. They wasn't around for no muscle. When did you see them do something for me? Never. I was running around with big chains and wild money in my pocket before I met Ab. The first time I met Nico, I fought him. Okay, that's all good and well. You fought Nico and all that, but that was like if I'm going to be real here, Twiz, I'm going to be real. Just there's some parts that I don't agree with Pretty Flock. I'm not going to say I
Hmm.
agree with everything about Cassidy. Like when he was
Hmm.
talking about how Swiss Beats did nothing for him, I don't agree with that. He's saying
Hmm.
that Ab wasn't there, they never did nothing for him. I don't agree with that either. But I
Yeah.
want to get your reaction to that.
Ab definitely did a lot for him because at that time when Ab was around him, he knew Ab wasn't gonna let nothing happen to him. He knew Ab wasn't gonna let. I can't speak on everybody else. Um, as far as Flock, that is your childhood friend. You know what I mean? Even if, like I said, if you feel like he wasn't a great artist, it probably was something else that you could have did for him. Other than that, I wouldn't even have these guys around me. Like I can't be up on like that's even when I'm, let's say for instance, I'm doing like a film or something like that. I'm not about to get so many people involved out their day and not have nothing to offer for them. You know what I mean? You taking people from their families, you doing this, you doing that, and time is money. You got to treat people accordingly. That like these are human beings at the end of the day. Um, so definitely they did things for him, but Cassidy was definitely was walking around um without Ab or before Ab with chains and bankrolls on them. Like I witnessed it, period. I witnessed it. He came back my hood and did a joint. He's a studio that used to be back my hood, back chewing locust. It was called La La Records, and if y'all look, it's a freestyle joint out with Cassidy and Freeway, and they freestyling in the studio. And Cass pull a burnout and all that. Like that's in my hood. You see, it's like 100 niggas in there. They all street niggas. Cass was by himself. Ness was by himself, and they from two different parts of the city. So yeah, Cass was moving around like that. He was moving around. I'm not gonna say he was no sucker. Like he wasn't scared to move around, but he knew what he was doing when he got Ab though. He knew what he was doing.
Damn, that's kind of crazy right there. So then we get into the conversation about Gilly the kid,
Hmm.
right? Then we get to that point. Um, so I wanted to ask you, man, what do you make of Arab stepping up to Gilly the kid for Cassidy? Do you believe that's how it played out? Ab
Oh,
actually
that's
did that in interviews.
yeah, yeah. That's absolutely how it played out. And what's so crazy is Cassidy was used to live back Aberdam Hood. When he lived back there, I'm not gonna say he was active. You can live in a neighborhood and not be active in that neighborhood. But Cash used to live down there before he moved uptown. So Cass was always looked at as an uptown guy, like back near Wadsworth and all that. You know what I'm saying? West Oak Lane, all back that area. So you got Ab and Gil where Ab knew who Gilly was, bro. Like they both from area Ab. They from the opposite sides though. Like,
Grew up watching him, he said.
yeah, they from the opposite sides of Broad Street where it was always used to be a bumpy ride, like a love-hate relationship with area Ab from the opposite sides of Broad Street. So Ab knew who Gil was, and Gil mutually knew who he knew who Ab was. It was 100 people with Cash that day. Ab was the only one that stood up, and Ab meant what he said. But Gil wasn't going at everybody that Cass was with. He was like, yeah, you got 100 people with you, but what's up with me and you? Let's go, you know what I'm saying? Let's go mix. Me and you got a problem. Let's go handle this. You got 100 people with you. They don't got nothing to do with that. What's up? Ab was the only one that, interfered with it and was like, no, it's not going down like that. Fight me. Why don't you fight me? And two wolves bump heads, and it was a mutual respect. You know what I'm saying? From that day on with Gil and AR. But yeah, it was a fact, and Cass wasn't trying to do that. Cass at that time, Cass, if I was Cass, I would have punched Gil in his face. And Gil, much love and respect to you, no disrespect, but I just mean man to man. You getting harsh like that. Somebody talking crazy to you, and you got 100 people with you. Is you crazy? I don't care where we at. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm getting treated, you're going to expect your homies, y'all better roll on this guy. You know what I mean? So that just showed you right then and there that he was in a situation where he could have manned up, and that's why I said the city of Philly give Cassidy a different kind of treatment because you can't talk heavy. It's like being out Chicago. You can't be talking heavy and you not backing it up when it's time to back it up.
So I wanted to ask you, Cassidy had actually said in this interview or a podcast that he had the red carpet in the hood. Twiz, is that true about Cassidy
Yeah,
having the red carpet in the hood?
he did. He did. I'm talking about like Cassidy in his prime, Cassidy freeway battle. Oh yeah. Nobody like Cassidy was the only artist. It was state property and it was Cassidy. They was like, it was that. Like people he was a highly anticipated artist in the city of Philly. People used to love Cass. Like I said, you couldn't walk a block without hearing I'm a hustler. What ruined his career was the events that took place in the city, like as far as the city being behind them, it was the events that took place. You think about when state property was with Rockefeller. What did we hear? We heard about Beans punching people in their face. We heard about this. We heard about that. That's what keep you at a certain level when you come from where we come from. When you come from New York, when you come from Chicago, down south, wherever. When you come from a hood, that's why people love people like Pimp C or certain people that they knew was real when they wasn't rapping. When you come from a hood and you rap or you talk like you real and you not like that off of camera, off of wax, now you're getting discredited. You know what I mean? People they don't accept it, bro. They don't accept it. That's why certain people that was hot from our city couldn't make it. When you getting punched on or you doing this and you not retaliating properly, now you losing a whole type of credibility as being a gangster rapper as they call it. You rap this street stuff, you talk this street stuff, but when you're not rapping and it go down, you're not that. So that was Cassidy issue.
Yeah, I was saying, Twiz, that Cassidy actually, you know, do you think it was the mistake that Cassidy made of beefing with Gilly? Because Gilly literally went to his hood and made him look bad. Like, was that like
Facts.
the first mistake Cassidy made?
That was one of the first and one of the worst mistakes, and this is why. And that's why it's hard to blame the young boys nowadays that don't pay homage because Cassidy was one of the first people that did not pay homage. We all know that Gilly and Major Figures was those guys. If you young, if you like 25 or something, or you didn't catch that wave, I'm 35. So when I was a kid, they was lit. We heard them on Power 99. I remember Major Figures hearing their names. This was before you could see who it was. Like I didn't know what Gilly or Spade and none of them guys looked like, but I knew their songs word for word. And they put on for the city and they put on in a major way before state property, before Cassidy. So when the guy was asking him questions about Gilly, he insulted Gilly. But look at where Cassidy at today. That's like if somebody like Meek was like, Cass, like when the last time you put out a hot album? When the last time Cass would be offended? Because even to this day, Cass talked like he the wizard of rap. You know, like he the god of rap. He didn't pay homage. He didn't pay homage after Gil just paid homage to him as a young rapper coming up. Gil, before any of this podcast stuff, before any of Gil movie deals, Gil always showed love to the up and coming rappers that came out of Philly. Always. He always slid on their block, always co-signed them. And the guy asked, Gil was like, "Damn, who you listen to?" Like you or whatever happened when Gil was doing the interview, he shot Cassidy out. And then after that, that's when the interview came up with Cass. And Cass was frowning his face up and like, Gil, like this and that. So now you do this and now you get embarrassed because now Gil did what nobody did at this time. This was before the World Star era and all of that. Like World Star might have just started, but people wasn't really tuned in. I feel like it was still MySpace era. I don't know, but it was years ago. But Gil slide to his block, and they'll make you look crazy because these people really know you. You know what I mean? They talking about you, and they was talking about Flock. You know what I'm saying? They was talking about both of them on the joint.
So
And
Twiz, the comment that was actually made by Cassidy was,
mhm.
"How is Gilly the king of Philly? He ain't got no songs out."
Yeah, when the last time he put an album out? When the last time he did this? How was you mentioning him, the king of Philly? I got this, I got that, what I got. Everything is about what I got. And Cash, you really didn't have nothing. You had the streets on lock, but you wasn't no Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said like on my the joint I did where I reviewed what was going on with him. And I didn't take no sides because I understand Cassidy's side and I understand AR's side. I'm just Flock is the one where it was like I feel like Flock shouldn't have moved how he moved. But one thing I said was AR Ab was a much better boss than Cassidy. You know, you have to be a boss, and that's one thing that Cassidy never was. Cassidy was never a boss. He was always like a selfish artist, meaning as though I'm the greatest, I'm this. Everything was me, me, me. And that's what happened right there. It was me, me, me. And then when it's an issue, now you have to defend yourself. And he didn't. To the point where the tension never left with Cassidy and Gil. When if you pay attention when Gil came to that battle, I think he was battling Arsenal. Every time Cass was messing up or whatever, Gil was making faces behind his back. You know, Gil funny, bro. So he was still looking. So and still he still to this day had to put Cass in his place a couple times. Cause Gil don't forget nothing.
Yep, he had a popular shirt just pop up. Don't make me give you that energy or something like that. So, anyways, listen, Twiz, this is a very serious topic that we're about to get into, man, and I'm really gonna
Okay.
need you. I'm gonna need you to explain this one for me, man. Cassidy
Okay.
said everything that you ever seen me and Ab did came after they ratted on me. After we caught the murder case and they ratted on me, his homies that he vouched for, that was the first day I was about to take them to the studio. So all the music, all the videos, when you see him in Drinking My Two Step, when he's dancing and we praying and he flew out to Cali on my budget, they was out there in Cali running around on my budget. So Twiz, why was Cassidy rolling with people he knew snitched on him? Why would you hang out with someone who you knew ratted on you?
Well, he never hung like all right, so the case so it's like this. How it happened was you had Ab had the people that he dealt with. That's why I always say like it's best to move alone. But Ab had the people that he was around at the time when he was introduced to Cassidy. When Ab met Cassidy, they was only like chilling with each other for probably about a month before the body had happened.
Like he said in my first interview with him when he
Facts,
got out of jail, actually.
facts, Facts. They was only together for about a month. Within that month time, this is when Ab had the people that he was his homies, like people he knew from the streets. You don't know what your homie capable of until they sitting in the interrogation room and they getting questioned for their life. We see it plenty of times. So the people that did tell after Ab had came home, they wasn't around Cassidy. It was AR, and then it was Flock, and it was what's his name, Mook, the other, the big guy that used to be on a lot of joints when Ab was home. So when after he brought him home, Cass brought Ab with him for a reason, because at the end of the day, you can't. I'm not no person that's going to pinpoint nothing or put something out there, but we know what happened. So the case happened. They got found not guilty. And Ab made it home. So please believe it was a reason that Cassidy wanted AR to still be around him after that. We know Ab ain't tell for sure. So
Facts.
you know what I mean. So regardless of what happened, like I said, Cass still had Ab around for protection. You know what I mean? Because if anybody, when y'all get a chance after y'all get off the stream, look at AR Ab battle when he battling in this Cassidy Swiss Beats and AR and they outside, it's nighttime, and Ab gets short tempered with the guy. He battling somebody, I think that's from Philly. Ab gets short tempered. Swiss and them trying to calm him down. They like chill, like it's just rap. Ab is blacking out on boy. You see Ab in a whole different. And this is before Ab was camera Ab. He wasn't camera Ab back then. Like he really jumped in a whole different zone and was about to put hands on the ball. And you hear Ab saying, "I just came home from a body. You not like me." Ab was fresh home then, and he wasn't even as groomed as much as he was to the end, even though he was still talking heavy, but he wasn't groomed for a camera back then. So he came straight home and was right with Cassidy. And like I said, that was for a reason. That was for what rappers? It's not a rapper you can't name that's a rapper from the streets that don't have real guys around them. They say stuff about Meek. Meek was never no sucker, but he got so much to lose. Like, he's a millionaire. But please believe them dream chasers, they not going for none of that. Them dream chasers is, all South Philly and North niggas, where it don't matter where you from, but just because they rich and they get bread, they get busy. So everybody got a place, you know what I mean? And that's what Cassidy was doing. He just don't want to, he never wanted to admit it. He just want to make it like, he the top of everything, where it's not the case. There's nothing wrong with that. I would be the same way if I was a millionaire. I would move accordingly. I probably would have true real higher security though, because ain't nobody got this day and time is different. Like they locking rappers up, they locking everybody up. So it's best to have your stuff legitimate. If somebody got to get something done to them, somebody trying to play with you, and somebody got to get aired out, you want it legitimate as possible. But it's nothing wrong with having protection, bro. That's how it goes. Street, it's gangsters that have protection. It's gangsters that they keep 100 people around them. That's their protection, bro.
Do you think Cassidy felt like he still needed them, even though he knew they snitched because he needed them for security?
Well, that's what I was saying. Like the people that snitch wasn't. It's like this. All right, so you AR. I mean, you Cassidy. I'm AR. I bring three homies around, and I'm like, you know what? These my guys. And just say one of the or the two guys, they telling on both of us. While you sitting in that cell, you understand everything. Like, damn, Twiz brought three guys around him. These two of his homies told on me and Twiz. So obviously Twiz is sturdy. Like
Right.
these is my homies I was with. I grew up with them and they told on me too.
So
So
Cassidy's like, Ab is the real one, even though his
exactly.
homies actually snitched on me.
Exactly.
Ab is
So
holding it down. Ab actually beat this trial. And as Ab explained, this happened a month after linking with Cassidy. So those
exactly.
those same people that he brought with him are kind of like, oh shit, we've only been down for a month. The situation got a little too real for me. I'm just going to tell the feds everything I know, or the state everything I know.
Exactly. And that show how solid not only AR was, but that show how solid Cassidy was when it
Right.
came to that. Because
Especially
Cassidy,
with Arab.
exactly. That's why I always say the dude that stack boxes in the back of Walmart be more sturdy than the guy that you catch on the block a lot of times. Where Cassidy was never known as no tough guy, where he never was known for catching rap, never known for hustling or nothing like that, but got in such a serious situation and he knew not to tell. That's one of the things that I definitely tilt my hat to Cass, and I don't think that he get enough respect for. Is like he said, they was coming to him every day trying to get him to give up AR, and he didn't. Where a lot of rappers would have, we seen it with even I don't even want to mention certain rappers' names, but we seen it happen with rappers where they tell on groups of people and they tell on people for the smallest things. Where Cassidy could have been like, I don't know, boy, like that. I was with him 2 3 weeks. He come around with this happened and his homies telling I don't owe him no loyalty. He could have played that role like a lot of rap guys do, or a lot of people that don't know nobody. I heard a lot of people they be like, I could never tell on my homie. Like telling ain't got nothing to do with just on your homie. You not supposed to tell on the enemy. You're not supposed to tell on the person you don't know. You don't tell nothing. You know what I mean? When you talk about telling, it's not picks on who you could tell on. That's like not to speak on the guy from New York, the guy from Harlem that had got his life taken. But he was like, you know what? I ain't telling nobody from Harlem. I told on DC guys, it's not acceptable. You know what I mean? And that's why it's best to stay away from that life. If you're gonna have to pick and choose or negotiate, your levels of honor when them type of situations happen, bro. You know what I'm saying? It ain't worth it. But shout out to Cassidy for keeping his mouth shut. Because out of everybody that got booked, he was the guy that wasn't a street guy. He was the guy that was a rapper. He was the guy that had the deal in play. He was the cash cow. He was the bag, and he ain't tell. He stood tall. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why Ab also took a liking to him, regardless of what happened at the end. I know he was sitting like, damn, these dudes that I had around me that I'd known for years, they was from the streets, and these guys told, but Cass stood tall.
Right. That's what he said, Twiz. Cassidy said he basically explained why he ended up disconnecting himself. He's
Hmm.
like, that's why I disconnected myself. He said, you should have did more for you. He said, you should have did more for your homies. Your homies ratted on me. And that's why I disconnected myself. And now
Not
you
a fact.
and what'd you say, Twiz?
I ain't mean to cut you off, saying that's not a fact, though.
Oh no. All right. So let me go back into it. You can break this down. He said, "So
Okay.
y'all owe me. You talking about what I could have did more?" So he's basically because everyone's saying what more could have Cassidy have done. He said, "You should have did more. Your homies ratted on me, and that's why I disconnected myself." So you want to go into that? You're saying that's inaccurate. That's
That
not why he disconnected himself.
that's inaccurate, and I didn't even really pay that no attention. But with him saying that, but with you breaking it down like that is crazy. That's inaccurate and it's very disrespectful to AR Ab because those people that told they was Ab guys, they wasn't flock homies. So with you saying that now, you're pretty much talking about AR when you saying you disconnected yourself. Listen, bro, when they came home from that body, that was probably about. It's hard to pinpoint the year. I want to say maybe '08, '09, something like that. It was somewhere around that time. It was definitely years ago. We gonna put it like this: like you couldn't have disconnected
Seven.
yourself. Yeah, it was like that. You couldn't have disconnected yourself because you was with AR all the way up to like up until he did that blog. He was with AR all the way up until he did that blog. Appearances, come up shows. He was pulling up on Ab. We
Like
seen
I
it.
said, Ab was on his last album, the Cash album.
Facts, facts. We seen him pulling up on the Goonie Gang joint. He didn't stop coming around. He didn't disconnect himself from Ab and until till him and Meek had the rat beef, and Ab did the vlog on New Year's Eve. All week before that, Cass was around.
He said, and now you see him in jail because someone else ratted on him. It's a continued situation. I got to exclude myself from that. Let's be real street. Let's talk for real. All right. And then he took a little
Well,
shot at Queen's Flip when he was talking about Private Eyes. But I want to more so go over that because he was kind of talking about how Taz, now another alleged member of OBH, you know what I'm saying, snitched on AR-Rab. He's kind of saying it's like a continued thing of AR-Rab hanging out with snitches. And that's kind of like kicking a man while he's down, in all honesty.
I think Cass shouldn't have said nothing directed to nobody besides Flock. It shouldn't have been nothing. Like, it shouldn't have. You talking about he's down now. Yeah, he down now because he did something that you was never doing, and that was surrounded by real street guys. The only real guys that you had around him, that you had around you, was Ab and them, bro. Like, come on, Cass be having somebody. Yeah, like Cass, bro, you had Jag. You got Jag. Like, Jag is like your right hand man. I don't know nothing about him, but we from Philly. I'm not about to have nobody from Cali, no blood from Cali, or no GD from Chicago, and got him on my hip. You know what I mean? That's just not saying there's nothing wrong with having
That's a good
homies from.
dude, Twiz.
I know he a good dude, but he got Jag on the pedestal. Like,
He got a
no
couple
disrespect.
people. He got a guy named Fred Money over there, I believe.
No disrespect to Jag, but he speak of Jag like, he a real street guy. I don't really know much about him, but he always, even before he freestyle, he used to be like Jag. Like, he'd shout him out, like he'd throw his name in the joint. And it's just a big difference because AR had street guys around him. He had street guys around him, and they wasn't millionaires. Like, he wasn't in a situation where he could have brought everybody with him, and Ab didn't put more money in the artist's pockets that he had around him than Cass obviously did as the sign artist to the few people that he had around him. We didn't see AR bring up people like Lil Johnny and them like that and get them bankrolls, on camera and stuff like that. Like, you saw in the OBH records, huh? Here go 15,000. Here go this, So that was definitely an insult to
Yeah,
try to compare yourself. Yeah, you can't compare yourself to somebody that really is surrounded by street guys. Cash, you never lived that life. You can't speak on it. But people like that, they want to use it to benefit them. Like, I'm not no street guy. I'm not this and that. It's like if you're getting bullied, you in the school and you got a friend that's a gangster or respected, and you want to use that friend whenever you can to protect you. But when you're not around them, you don't agree with nothing with the lifestyle. You don't understand it. You would never do it. You think people that live like that person is dumb and this and that. That's a prime example. I think he should humbilize himself more. I just think that that's a problem when being a man and you feel like you're getting disrespected and you start speaking off of emotions. I think Cass being his emotions, like,
talking
Cass, like,
talking about, yo, it's a problem with all the people that he has. Man, you had beef with
facts,
somebody that AR had to
facts,
go handle the beef, and then some of
facts.
those kids got scared because you had some crazy beef going on, and you're going to
Facts.
draw a parallel to the Arabs' current situation with that.
It's like you mentioned. It's like you mentioned in AR. If Gil court cast by himself and Gil wanted to put hands on him, he would have. But if Ab wasn't there, he wouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that with a lot of other people. Um, one thing about Ab, like I call Ab, he was the Al Capone of the rap game when it come to underground. Definitely when it come to Philly. If you notice his interaction with the people he was around, the respect, the his characteristics, how he would sit in the middle and got his whole team around him, how he would talk, he would bust jokes, and the whole room would laugh, even if it's not funny. AR had a different type of respect. And AR will punch you in your mouth, you know what I'm saying, off camera, you know what I mean? I'm not saying he the toughest guy in the world, like, you know, we come from a reckless city, period. But for AR to be a rapper and carry himself like a regular street guy from Philly, because, you know, it's different nowadays with the drill era. A lot of these young boys, they really in the streets. But the earlier generations, a lot of people was just around. Like how they could talk about Nas or somebody like that. Like he might not have been active in the streets, but he knew what was going on in the streets. You know, Ab was one of them guys where that's why he always pressed the issue and he always called out other rappers from the city and always called himself like the realest, because he wasn't just somebody that was from a neighborhood. He was really involved in stuff coming up before he was a rapper.
Now, there's another part I want you to respond to, Twiz. Cassidy had said, do real. Well, this is why the conversation really took a crazy steam turn. Like when he's like, you really want to be private eyes? Do real research.
I remember that part.
He's like, my image is untarnished. There's no stains on my image. And I went to jail because they ratted on me. And I still stood tall. You didn't hear me make one statement. I didn't even plead the fifth. You heard these guys ratting, facing 1 to 2, telling on everybody. I was fighting life. I think he made a mistake with his wording right here, Twiz, because he said, I was fighting life without the possibility of the death penalty. And I didn't make one statement because I'm sturdy. I ain't obligated to do nothing for nobody. Did he make a mistake with that statement? He said, I was fighting life without the possibility of the death penalty. I think he misspoke.
He meant to say without the possibility of parole. If that's how he worded it, he meant to say without the possibility of parole. But like a lot of times when it's a body involved and you get in and them folks is talking to you, they'd be like, you know what, you could you could face the death penalty for that. So he probably was trying to say he was
With the
facing life. Yeah,
with the possibility.
he was probably trying to say he was facing life with the death penalty without the possibility of parole. Because life in Philly and Pennsylvania, it's always without the possibility of parole. Some states, I think, like maybe, if correct me if I'm wrong, like out in New York, you can get sentenced to life, and it might be like a 25 to 50. But in Philly, if they sentence you to life, that means you don't leave out until you getting sent out in the body bag. You got to know where your corpse is getting sent to. Yeah, facts. So like that when they say, yeah, like life in PA, it's like you get sentenced to life, it's a wrap, unless it's a loophole in your case, like how like Roscoe or somebody went through.
Salute to Roscoe P. Cold Chain. So Twiz,
Definitely.
I want you to react to that though, right there. Cassidy saying that his image is untarnished, no stains. As we had said, one of the first stains on his jacket was when he did that whole Gilly the Kid, Gilly the Kid. Why is he the king? Because it really kind of made the streets turned off by the newcomer. You know, it's like, yo, pay some respect to your elders.
That was one stain right there. The next stain was when Gilly approached him and he wasn't trying to fight, and AR had to speak up for him. But with what he did right there, it was big. I gotta salute that, man. I gotta salute Cass not telling. That was we talking about a body, bro. We talking about if Cass would have lost, because it don't matter if you did it or not. There's plenty of people. I know people. My AirPod died. I don't know if I'm clear. I'm gonna just switch my joint over real quick.
All right, cool.
All right, my phone.
All right, Twiz will be right back with us. And, you know, I'm only saying this because this is another thing for everyone in the comments saying Cassidy is soft. Everyone's saying he is not real. Let me tell you why he is not soft. He beat a murder trial without snitching on anybody. You hear what I'm saying? So for those of y'all Pretty Flock fans that are going to say Cassidy is soft, I'm not believing none of that shit because guess what? 6ix9ine caught a charge. He ratted. Cassidy didn't. Cassidy is an extinct species. If you're hearing me, Cassidy, name the next album Extinct Species. Because Cassidy knew if I rat on somebody, he knew it was going to be one of two things: his rap career being over or him being over. Everything he worked for, everything Cassidy worked so hard for, is going to go right down the toilet if he came out a rat. So Cassidy said, I'm going to stand tall. I'm going to take my charge, whatever the outcome may be. That's gangster, y'all. That's gangster, y'all. And then some people are they're going to say, oh, Cassidy's soft. Cassidy's soft. There's going to be the ones on the flip side, right? Cassidy is stupid. He should have ratted. The same one that's going to be saying the goofy shit like Casanova should rat. Y'all going to sound crazy, but all right, we got Twiz back. Twiz, Twiz,
Can you
you
hear
good?
me, Mikey?
Yeah,
Can you
we can
hear
hear
me?
you perfectly.
Can you hear me? All right, yeah, I got my work Jones on real quick. My had to switch them
So
up.
basically, man, Cassidy said I went to jail because they ratted on me and I stood tall. You didn't hear me make one statement. I didn't even plead the fifth. You heard these guys ratting facing 1 to 2, telling on everybody. I was fighting life. I want you to basically respond to that, Twiz.
I think when he said that people was facing 1 to 2, he wasn't talking about the people that was involved in that case. But yeah, he stood tall. And one thing I gotta throw out there because I had saw people. I saw that when I watched the clip. You know how it is. You naturally scroll through the comments. I did want to make one thing clear that Cassidy didn't wait until AR got booked to address that. He addressed that while AR was still home. And after he addressed it, AR responded to that before before Cassidy addressed it and explained his side of the story where he was told on, it was never said. I never heard nobody speak about, him getting told on. So after that, AR responded again and was like, yeah, he pretty much confirmed it, So I just had to throw that out there. So
So Cassidy had really come at Flip. Flip felt away. Queen's Flip is like an investigator. He got mad. He's like, a dude who you was on the road with said you didn't take care of them. That's what I'm basing it off. I didn't do no investigation. I don't give a F about this. I was surprised when he brought it up. He said, my man
yeah,
Leek Boss brought him up here and he talked about it. Cassidy
true,
said, nah, I took care of your dude's brothers, but I'm not going to take care of you continually. It's over. It's over.
true. I mean, I understand that, but the crazy thing is, and it's a shame that AR had to that AR Ab had to sit down because AR was generating so much revenue, bro, from music and what he did to the point AR was passing Cassidy as an independent artist without majors behind him. That's something that Cassidy wouldn't have been able to do. And Cassidy saw that in AR. That's why he was really still around them and stuff because it wasn't no you can't cover light with darkness. We can put all the darkness in the room, but when that star come, it's going to break through it. And one thing for sure, two things for certain. AR got natural star power. Cassidy is a good rapper. Cassidy don't have star power. He don't like Cassidy biggest Jones. Like even if he's talking, it's a situation like that where he pretty much defending himself and clearing up something. Cassidy is like he do give shock value when it come to like battle rap face offs and stuff like that. But other than that, Cassidy whole personality is music. It's nothing outside of music that we don't know about Cassidy. Like you don't know about Cassidy upcoming. You don't know nothing about him. Do Cassidy got any brothers, any sisters? Was he raised in a single parent household? Like we don't know none of that about Cassidy. All we know is he can rap, and some people call him delusional. But other than that, like you know, um, it is over, and it's pretty much over for Cassidy. Also, besides battle rap, like Cassidy, if you drop an album today or tomorrow, who's going to rush to pay for it? Besides, your fan base that really don't,
Yeah,
they
that's what
not,
I
they
was gonna
can't make you
say.
rich.
Was his main thing right now is battle rap, but with the
Facts.
way that battle rap has become so popularized, these bags are bigger than what I mean. Some nightclub appearances. I mean, unless you're getting
They are.
90,000 Meek Mill money, or what I mean,
They
two
are.
hundred and 50,000 Drake money.
They are. And what I also can say is at a time when Cassidy was popping, Philly already had attention on them. You had State Property, you had Ness, you had Miss Jade, you had Eve. You had a bunch of artists that already had people focused on the city of Philly. When AR dropped, AR came throughout the DVD era, throughout the back end. He brought attention to Philly. Like his interviews that people say that he used to be saying too much on. It was his songs that brought shock value before the drill ever took over in these inner cities. He brought the last attention to our city that we ever had, bro. To
Yep.
this day, we don't the world don't care about no Philly artists, bro. Like besides the drill rapper fans, and even with that, they not up here. AR interviews would be dropping, hitting like 1 million views, bro. Like, and that's hard to do from our city, and that's hard to do as being an unsigned artist.
Yeah.
So he was definitely he definitely had a nice cycle as far as his promotion and everything.
Yeah, I had an AR rap interview drop on MTV.com.
I remember that was heavy.
Yeah, that
And
shit was.
and and, and on top of that, like Mikey, like I met Ab, you know what I'm saying, and you met Ab, you've been to Ab crib and stuff like that. So you see, like, just I did an interview actually with a homie. He's a rapper. He used to rap with Touch Money, my man Reese Man Cadillac. And I had did an interview with him, and he was one of the first guys that during the DVD era, he did like Ab gravitated to him. They did music together. But he was talking about how he had came to AR Hood, and it was a guy out there that used to sit on the block, and Ab was like, I take care of people out here, and Ab had put my homie like, watch this. He talked to the old head, like, who feed you every day? And the old head pointed at him like, you feed me every day. You make sure I eat every day. And it just shows you that what type of person he was, and even like I said with you, you was able to pull up to his crib. You came in them trenches. You came in the middle of North and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And he treats you like a brother if you
Yeah.
around him and things of that nature. And that was the same type of energy I got with him. When I met him, it was like the whole OBH was in that joint, and it just he just seemed like a more of a genuine person than a lot of rappers are. Because a lot of times you meet your rappers, like Santos say, you might meet your hero and they not all they cracked up to be.
Oh, I thought Santos said you might meet your hero and punch him in the face.
Yeah, basically, you be ready to like this guy CB4, man.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, I was gonna say it's not like me and Ab ever split a couple pizzas, but yeah, it
Yeah,
wasn't
but
pizzas. It was actually Popeye's chicken. When
yeah,
AL Rap
exactly,
came into the studio with two big ass boxes of
exactly.
Popeye's chicken one night when I was renting out Bump Studio, and Ab came through and I played him a bunch of beats from Dame Grease, and
Exactly.
we were playing him a bunch of music from my partner and my artist Majestic. And yeah, from St. Louis, Majestic Twiz.
Facts, facts. I
And
know Majestic.
yeah, and Ab was like, "Yo, Mikey T, that shit's hard." So he was really feeling a bunch of the Dame Grease beats. He took a couple of Majestic's hooks. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying, like, there's a lot of shit that Ab was working on before he
He
got locked up.
was.
Not to mention that Beanie Siegel project that he literally, what was
Oh
that, like
man,
literally the week before he had got locked up?
it was. That was if y'all remember, he been had a relationship with Beans, but Beans pulled up on his block. That's when Beans took his hat off and put it on Ab like, I'm giving you the crown. You definitely the king of the city, bro. And like a week after that, bro, that's when everything happened. Like it happened so fast because and this was like after the Birdman bet. All this stuff was transpiring and you seeing him level up, level up, level up, and then that happens. And just even the type of guy that he was, he turned down the Birdman deal, not because it wouldn't have benefited him. Yeah, he could have used a few million, but he like, bro, I got like 15 artists under me. You know what I mean? That's not we not gonna be able to break that down. I gotta make sure my whole team win. So I'll just keep it independent till it
Yeah,
get right.
plus he must have saw kind of what it was, when they were filming the No Smoke video and
Hmm.
they brought out a big director to do it. You know what I mean?
He
And then Ab spent like 25, $30,000 to do the video, and Birdman didn't show up to do the video. You know what I mean? It's just like,
that
wow. So honestly, Birdman keeps a lot of his artists on the shelf.
facts, facts, and it's like that with a lot of people that run these labels and stuff where they might even re-sign a artist and it's like when they had signed a Marion when Rose had signed him. It's like he was already an artist and had a buzz, but sometimes the deal don't make sense,
He
you
obviously
know.
didn't sign him to a album deal because he had that single that popped off like that same year that he signed him. It was called Post to
Facts,
Be. It was called Post to Be or something like that.
facts,
Yeah, so like, and that was just shocking to me that Omarion ended up releasing his album on another record label. It was just kind
facts,
of ridiculous to me that that would end up happening. Like, how are you going to
facts.
miss that opportunity?
Exactly. It don't make no sense.
Um, Flip asked Cassidy, "Did you hate on the record with him and Wyclef?" Cassidy replied, "You would have never been on none of that shit if it wasn't for me. So what did it do for me? Why didn't you let him put it out?" Flip said to Cassidy. I mean, I guess that's the question. Cassidy's saying, what would it have did for me? I guess the basic question is, well, he could have released the song and made money.
Now, the question is, what was holding it back? Now, that right there, somebody is lying, either Flock lying or Cass lying. Somebody might have to interview Wyclef, if
Now, you
Wyclef
just
even
hit it.
remember that.
You just hit it, Twiz. You're like, so what happened? Well,
Hmm.
Cassidy said, I didn't even know about no Wyclef shit. You're talking about why didn't I put it? How am I gonna
That's a lie.
put it out? It's a Wyclef record. You're talking about me putting out a Wyclef record, and then Flip is like, yo, I'm just telling you what he told me. Cassidy is like, I put out the Wyclef record with me and him and Patti LaBelle that's out. Me, Patti LaBelle, the big queen from my city, and Wyclef. We put it out. It went right out, Cassidy said. So Twiz, I think that's the problem right there. Why would Nico be releasing a Wyclef song right after Cassidy? It's like you're stepping on his toes.
I don't think that's the. I will consider it stepping on your toes because
All right, Twiz,
Cassidy.
me and you go to the studio. You're like, yo, Mikey T, I'm rolling to the studio with you tonight. Yo, Twiz, I'm going to the studio tonight to work with Wyclef. I know you're that guy. If you end up getting some work with him, it's all good. So then we both go to the studio, we both get songs with Wyclef, and then I drop my song. You're really going to drop your song 1 week later? Like that
Well,
doesn't make no type of
it
strategical
it
sense.
it don't matter when it get dropped, but who had the authority to drop it is the question. Because I think Cassidy was on that joint too. Was it? It was just Flock and Wyclef. I could have swore Cassidy was on that one too. Because
There's
I
somebody
think
else on it because Queen's Flip actually put it on his page.
I think Cassidy was on it. But my whole thing is this is it's like this. All right, so it's like this. Let's take it to the streets. You, you my boss. You hustling. You hit me off with something, and it's a customer that's coming up now. A customer want to grab. Are you going to take that sell? Or are you going to give it to me? Like a true hustler would give it to the person that's working for him or giving it to him because you want that person to gain revenue. Now, what you want to do is you want your artist to get built. You want the world to love them, but so you can profit off of that person. How can you profit off of somebody if you're not giving them a chance to even build any kind of buzz? Now, if we in the studio together and I drop, yeah, you don't gotta drop a week later. You can hold that song till 8 months later. You know what I mean? Because nobody remember a Wyclef song with Cassidy. I can't pinpoint it with him. Why, obviously, it ain't do that big. So why not let it out? And that's what separate being real than you just wanting to be the you can't want to be the cash cow and you not giving nobody a chance to profit. Obviously, why Clef wanted to do that song with him. It was a situation where Ab was talking about with Kevin Gates. He did the song with Kevin Gates. What Kevin Gates do? Ab, you can have this song. You can have the rights and everything to it. Did the song do 10 million views? No. I can't even tell you what the lyrics was, but it was just being genuine to give somebody the chance to elevate. Cassidy was already Cassidy at that time. That right there, I do think that if it was Cassidy authorization that needed to happen to release it, I think Cassidy should have gave that authorization. But was it Cassidy authorization is the question. If it
Right.
was Wyclef,
It could have been Wyclef's
it could
authorization.
have been it could have been Wyclef. Wyclef could have been like, damn, I did. We was in there, we smoked a few L's. He spit something that was hot. We just got in the booth. It's artists that signed. Look at Jeezy and Gucci. You know the so icy, whatever that song is, like stuff
And
happens.
um and of course Cassidy had to throw in Wyclef has interviews saying I'm that bull.
Yeah, Cassidy is big. That's the thing. That's what rub people Cassidy. That's how Cassidy rub people wrong at times. It's just because you're bro, if you a millionaire, you don't gotta keep smacking people in the face. I'm a millionaire. I bro, I get 10 million you don't have to repeatedly cast. We know you can rap. We know. We know you good at what you do. It's a different day and time now, but at that time, of course, people love Cassidy, bro. Nobody is discrediting what you are or what you did as an artist. What Flip was questioning was about, bro. You want your artist to elevate. It don't make you like, come on, bro. Like you're not going to have people under you and don't want them to shine because now it's a waste of even having them or even wanting them around as a rapper or as anything. You know what I mean? It's like you know how it is, Mikey. Like you help plenty of people out on even with the block and stuff. You know what I mean? Where you can coach people like, bro, I think you should do this, or why don't you try that, or you know what I mean? And you want people to elevate because them people, when they do elevate, they can't forget you. You know what I mean? You got rights to that person at the end of the day, and the history is cemented. What if Flock would have took off or had a little run? Now that's somebody else you're profiting off of. It takes some stress off of you instead of worrying about you trying to hurry up and drop that next hit. It's like Dirk with Vine. What if he ain't let Vine shine? You know what I mean?
Yep, facts. So Flip was asking some questions, as you said. One of
Mm.
those questions was, so did you send dudes to Canal to get sneakers? Can you believe he's asking Cassidy these questions on his podcast?
But this is great, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. And I'm just off in my cam because I'm standing up. I'm grabbing. I gotta grab some more of my sippy sip real quick. But like this, like Cassidy knew exactly what he was coming on to. Like Cassidy knew. Just look at the blitz, bro. Like, do you remember when Cassidy battled? Was it good? Correct me, Mikey, if I'm wrong, or anybody in the chat. Who was Cassidy battling that Queen's Flip was hosting the face off? I think it was Goods. I
I
think
couldn't
I
tell
think
you
it's
that. I don't
I
remember ever seeing a Queen's Flip hosted
let
face
let
off.
let us know in the chat. I believe it was Goods that he was hosting, but I remember when during the face off and Cassidy was like, "Why do they got you hosting the face off?" Like it was a back and forth with Flip.
It was
The
good.
way okay, it was Goods. The way that back and forth, we appreciate that. Shout out to the chat. The way that Cassidy energy was with Flip, it was like, I don't like you, bro. Why do they even have you hosting this? Like he was like serious. And with all that transpiring, and now you see Moss and Flock, they come on Queen's Flip. Now all of a sudden, after that, Cassidy come. That was a chess move right there. It it was a chess move from Flip and Cassidy because Flip did it and he knew that he would catch Cassidy at that gullible state because Cassidy gonna want to defend himself. It's no different than like Math Hoffa said when he brought Styles up there and then he brought Hood up there and he was like, well, Sheik, well, if you are an artist and you feel like what this person said, come up and defend yourself. That's what happened. Cassidy came there for nothing else but to address what was said about him. I can 110% guarantee it, bro. What else do Cassidy got going? He's not talking about no album dropping. Battle rap is kind of mediocre for him right now because he did too many appearances, and it's a proven fact that people is loving the face-offs more than his actual battles. Even though he is becoming a better battle rapper, but Cassidy came there to address what happened with Flock, and Queen's Flip knows that. That's why he's throwing these questions out there like that. That's why he's putting it out there like, well, the Canal Street. Nobody ever asked Cast about that. Like, we heard AR say something about it. That was about it. You know what I'm saying? And now,
So so let's get to Cassidy's response. I want you to gauge his response to when Flip asked him, "Did you send the dudes to Canal Street to get sneakers?"
hmm
Cassidy said, "I don't remember sending nobody to Canal. But if I did, who knows? I don't wear no canal. You don't see me going down canal. If you're a gangster, nobody can send me to canal. You can't tell me to go to canal right now, and I go. And I told you I respect you. You told me to put the L out in your place, I do that. You can't send me to canal." Queen's Flip said I wouldn't even send you. But no, what do you think about that response where he said, I don't remember sending nobody to Canal, but if I did, who knows?
that's an absolute 50% fact because if we go back to the Ab John, Ab never said that Cassidy gave them money and sent them to there. Ab always said that he himself used to go and get all of these fake forces. All right, I'm gonna keep it a stack, bro. People might be fraud and this and that, but early 2000s, everybody then came across a fake pair of forces or a fake pair of Timberlands if you're from the East Coast, and it was to the point where people was getting fake white on white forces. It was up until people can recognize because it was a tight time frame period where a person could have some what they used to call Aki forces or Aki Tims, and then people was able to peep like them souls ain't right, bro. Like from a distance, you might can get over on somebody. but people were struggling from the hoods. Even to this day, it's a lot of females that still walk around with fake bags. So let's not make it like people wasn't getting fake stuff. I think Cassidy probably thought that he had a lick because they was able to get these forces for 25, 30, $50, and they thought that they look real until you hold them next to a real pair, and really it's to the even to this day you got people that be like comparing Jordans, like these are the fake 11s, these are the real ones. Sometimes you got to go through a lot of research to find out what the fake ones are. So it was never said that they gave them money and had them go up to Canal Street. I don't know, how real that is, because I didn't hear AR said it. I'm not sure if Flock said he gave them the money to go get it. But what I did hear was he was coming back with the gear and it was fake. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Which makes it so easy for Cassidy to respond, I don't remember sending nobody to Canal. But if I
Yeah.
did, who knows? You
Well,
know what I mean?
that's
Were there 7, 8 pairs of fake
well,
Jordans for the team? They were there
well,
on the
Mikey.
table. Who knows how they got there, though?
Well, Mikey, that's how you know Cass is lying. I got to say, that's how you know Cass is lying because a person is not going to say, I don't remember. It's either yes or no. You know what you did or you didn't. You mean
Yep.
to tell me you know everything else about when you met AR, when you met Flop, you know everything, but you don't remember?
It's your
That's
life.
because,
It's your
yeah, that
life. You should remember these things. Like when you're listening
exactly,
to a podcast, like, you know what I mean? You're listening to a podcast and you're like, you've watched something on television and now you're listening to the podcast. And then the
exactly.
actor is like, oh, I don't remember what went into that. It's like, how the hell do you not remember? That was a
That's
part of your life. Stop bullshitting. You don't want to tell the truth.
exactly that's the spin move because a person be like, what? I don't go to Canal, bro. I never took them up there, and I never told them to go up there. Even if you gave a person money, you would be like, bro, I gave one time I gave them like 600. You know what I'm saying, the piece, and however they went to Canal because you would put that on them. You can't give somebody money and be like, go to this barbershop over here, bro. Like people stick with whatever barbers they go to. People get clothes that everybody how everybody dresses different. You know what I mean? So he was lying about that. That's a fact. You you so sure about everything else, but when it came to that question, you said you don't know. That's because he didn't have a time to respond fast enough. He should have like, what? They lying. That should have been that.
Yeah, honestly, if Cassidy gave Arab $600, I couldn't see him going to buy shoes with it. I could see him going and, you know what I mean, like quadrupling it up.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? What are you talking about?
Exactly. And plus, we gotta remember, rappers wasn't buying most of their stuff. So Cass didn't have to worry about going out spending his cash for an outfit. When you're under a deal, they have stuff for you. You know what I mean? These labels, like if you going to a video shoot, your clothes is already, you know what I'm saying? Like, and Cass was never known for, he was always had bread, but he was never known for dressing fly. Like Cass was never somebody where it's like, bro be geared down. Like, it was never no point in his career where a person saw something Cass had on and was like, I want to wear that. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, that's what that's a true fact, Twiz. Usually the main artist will be taken care of when it comes to
hmm,
clothes, but if you're gonna have an entourage, you're going to have to take care of them.
facts,
But
facts.
Twiz, is this complete ether? Cassidy said, especially Flock. That's my little dude. Stop. Don't act like you must be getting it twisted. Come on, man. Like I said, it's over for Bull. I did what I did for Bull. I know I'm not obligated to do nothing for nobody. Did you ever really, like you said, you would see Nico buy Cassidy
Hmm.
back in the day? Did you ever think you would see that Cassidy felt the need to publicly call out Nico like that, literally saying it is over for the Bull? I mean, they like to come on here and say it's over for Mikey T. But you got Cassidy
Hmm.
literally on Queen's Flip's channel saying it is over for one of Queen Flip's last guests.
Um, I see it happening, and I understand why. Because Flock came into the game as a sidekick, and he 40 plus and still a sidekick. However old he is, he's still a sidekick. He still is not important. He was never one of the artists from OBH that people was like, damn, I can't wait till he drops something. I'm sorry, but it's just a fact. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I say, I stand on everything I say, man. On top of that, we gotta remember when Ab did the dish joint and all of that, New Year's Eve, who was right there? Flocka was right there. He was there co-signing it. Like I said on the video I dropped, if I was Cass, I would feel some type of way. Like you there with AR talking about, yeah, this is my man, this and that. Bro, I got family members that's up. I got friends that I know that's up. If they choose to not come at me or be like, damn, like Twiz, like I got this opportunity for you, this and that. That's what it is. We are our own men, bro. It's people I came out the sandbox with that's munching. It's people that I came out the sandbox with that look at me like I'm doing probably much better than what they think I am, but they ain't out like damn Twiz, you got let me send can you cash at me a bean? Can you do this? Can you do like just as men, we just carry ourselves different. Like I said, bro, I know people that's millionaires that I came up with, and I'm not about to ask them, damn, can you set me up with this? Can you do that? You don't expect that. Like it's all love at the end of the day, and we just all out to get it. But I'm not about to be up here like upset or rotten with with somebody else, a mutual friend, because I felt as though this person didn't look out for me financially. Because how much could Cass really look out for people financially? Like truthfully, bro.
Bro, I
Like
was
look at
saying it earlier, Twiz. Like, this man must have spent a lot of money in Sheraton hotels, Hyatt hotels. And then what? You're spending all this money on these hotels, and guys are like,
bro,
we're not at the Trump Plaza.
bro.
What kind of
Cass
ungrateful shit is that?
facts. Cass ain't leave Lon Kim Pint. I mean, what's that? Providence Street is where he from. He ain't leave Providence Street until like the people that like AR and them was talking about like until it got hot. Like once that start getting hot and people start coming to his door, like when he was rapping and all that stuff, when people first heard him on the mixtapes, he was still living in a regular row house in city of Philly in the house he was raised and grew up in. He was just enjoying being a hood celebrity at that point. He didn't move until it got sticky. You never heard Cass talking about somebody just signed the deal for this or that. You never heard him talking about what he signed for because he never really had nothing too big. Bro, you was signed with Rough Riders. How many artists from Rough Riders was really that rich? DMX probably was the richest, truthfully.
It
The
was a
locks,
good launching. It was a good launching pad for guys
it
like
was.
DMX and
It
Jada Kiss
was.
and Styles P and all them.
It it was a good look and it was exposure, but none of them guys was sitting around comfortable. You had people like
They
50
had to
that
work
came
their
in the
asses
game.
off. They had to work.
Exactly.
DMX
E-
was a bona fide superstar, but they all had to work their asses off, just like Cassidy
exactly.
had to work his ass off, I believe. You could tell me
And
better. You're from Philly. He had to work
he
his ass off.
he
Or
had
no?
to work because at the end of the day, you had people like X that was out and putting fire out, great classic albums, not no mixtapes, great classic albums. And you got the locks, you got Drag On, it was so much going on with Rough Riders at that day and time when Cassidy came that you couldn't tell me that he was in a great financial position. Because at the end of the day, the Rough Riders would have been able to even put the locks in a better predicament. The locks wasn't never no, you know what I'm saying? Like they was always like great rappers, but they was never known as somebody like I want to sign with them because we always looked at them. They was the streets. They had the streets on lock, but they never had that Jay-Z 50 Cent energy. You know what I
Also,
mean? He
they
was
were struggling with their own contracts, you know what I mean?
exactly even
Styles
with
P
Diddy
had
and all
his
that.
issues going from, a major label onto an independent. Jadakiss was dropping dope albums, but they weren't, you know what I mean? Jadakiss should have probably dropped double the amount of albums that he actually did drop. And
Y-
Sheik Luch, he is the one who had to work his ass off. And you know what? He ran around and he got with those
Facts,
labels and he was able to drop just as many, if not more, projects than the other guys, Twiz. So he really earned my
facts,
respect.
facts, and I feel like none of them touched 100 million a year. Nobody
Well,
from Rough Riders, besides maybe X. X probably didn't touch it. X definitely probably was the richest, and he wasn't doing that great, but he probably touched more money than anybody from Rough Riders.
bro,
Anybody.
X made Steven Seagal come back.
Facts, he did. He
X
did.
made Steven Seagal so hot, Ja Rule thought he
He
was still
did.
hot and did a movie with him.
He did, and yeah, and including the movie contracts and all that. He was a great actor on top of that, but like Rough Riders, no
His,
Rough Rider artist was doing that good.
his
Cassidy was
demons, though, are what came, you know what I mean? Like it
facts,
showed with his
facts. It messed everything up.
movie choices, his
Facts.
music.
But Cassidy was never up. Cassidy was never no. If Cassidy was so up, he would have never stepped stage on that URL stage, bro. He would have never did them battles. Like it sounded a lot when they be like, bro, he came and did a battle for 250. If he received 250, truthfully, you gotta pay taxes out of that for one, because the whole world know what you got paid off of that battle. And on
Damn,
top of
are you
that,
even left with 180 after that? Probably.
exactly, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And as regular people that we build it brick by brick. We don't got none of that industry money. We not sports players or nothing. We of course if we hear 250, we like damn that's a bag, but that's not no bag for nobody. It's people that you got people like Drake that'll get at to he gave the dude Shicky like 150,000
He
just for
gave
doing
the
the
one dude
dance.
he gave the one dude you know what I mean, the one dude owed him $60,000. He let him
Mhm.
perform in his kitchen for $60,000 for him. Drake is a
That's what
wild
I'm
dude, man.
saying. That's what I'm saying. So that's not money to really money like Cass. Cass know how to he be gassing stuff up, bro. And he was never up or really in no situation or really help nobody because he could barely help himself, truthfully.
So Queen's Flip said before that day, he said he spoke to you a week prior to the interview. So I'm guessing Queen's Flip is saying a week prior to his interview with Pretty Flock, uh, Pretty Flock saying he called Cassidy and spoke with him on the phone. All right, so if you spoke with Cassidy on the phone a week prior to your interview with Queen's Flip, why would you even diss Cassidy? Like, if you're still cordial on the
See,
phone with him, why would you even go on that major platform and say all this crazy shit about him?
I'm kind of glad that Flip brought it up, but my whole thing is this. One thing I would have asked Flock was, all right, Flock, you was with Cass, you was with him from the sandbox. What and how much compensation do you think you should have received for playing a position that you felt as though you played, whether it was being a homie, whether it was protecting him, whether it was just being a rapper. Like how much like if you could pinpoint at the time that you dealt with him during his success, how much money would you say that Cass owed you and what did you and why did you think of that? I would have asked him that to be more direct. Um, because it get real tricky because it's like you can mention the times of being with Cass and the things that he did or the checks that he made. If I'm tarring people roofs and I'm like Mikey, can you drive me to go drop me off to go tar this roof? And I made let's just say $800 off of this roof job, and we did this for 3 months straight and I never paid you nothing. It's like, all right, so what do you think I should have paid you for? Like, you know what I mean? You got to be more direct because what was being said on there was like, I seen him get checks for 75,000. I seen, all right, so when he was receiving these checks, what part did you play in him of him receiving these checks? What are these checks from?
I feel like
75.
he kind of just feels like Cassidy should just go get all of the money, take all that 75,000 and take it all out from the bank at one time and then
Mhm.
hand him $10,000 and hand the next guy $10,000. It's like, don't you realize that $75,000 check you got to pay taxes on that shit too?
Yep, yep, you got that. You still got your mom, you still got your living circumstances because at that time Cass he was still a kid and I believe he was still taking care of his mother also. And should Cass have not gave him anything? I don't think that he should have not gave him anything. You still are a celebrity. You know what I mean? You still a celebrity, bro. But that's why I think it should be. That's why you can't be like that with people. You can't be in a winning position and have people around. Either don't have nobody around, or if you had them around, they have to know their purpose, and their purpose has to be iceberg salute, bro. Much love and respect.
Iceberg said, Twiz, Iceberg said at least Jay Hood felt like he owed 60K. He was
Exactly.
specific with it.
Exactly. Hood didn't really speak about no direct amount
You
besides
mean
the amount.
Flock?
No, I was saying like J Hood didn't speak about no certain amount besides the amount that he knew that the label gave him when the house fire happened. It wasn't like, you know what, I did this mixtape where I featured on this, so they should have gave me at least this amount for that. It's a lot of rappers that was around that didn't get money plenty of times. Like plenty of times. And it's a lot of rappers that was under paperwork that got burnt for money. Look at how state property even had their issues and they misunderstandings. You know what I mean? It happens, but
Did movies, albums.
exactly, exactly, it happens. But like I said, I don't feel like Flock should even be in a position where he's saying anything about it because he didn't address it at the time when it was going on. You rap and you did this song with Wyclef. You with him there. You gotta ask him for showers. Why aren't you like? Come on, bro. How long? Like we all men, right? And especially if we brothers, it's like damn, like you know what I mean. It's not gonna be right. As a man, I can't see myself.
Why is his hygiene, Twiz? Why is his hygiene Cassidy's concern?
Well, it's like this. This is my understanding of it. It's like Mikey, you let me stay over your crib for 2 weeks straight. I'm not just gonna wake up 7 in the morning and go straight in the shower. I'm like, damn, yo, can I use your shower real quick? The whole thing is this. If we traveling and we're on tour, you gonna want me to be tight. Like, damn, you gonna be like, damn, Twiz, like, bro, we just was out Vegas yesterday. We going to the Cali tomorrow, bro. You had the same clothes on. You know what I mean? You gonna want my appearance and everything to be up to par because I represent you. You know what I mean? That's what I got out of it because he was saying like, bro, he know we going on tour, we doing this and that, and we don't got no haircuts or nothing. When you coming from a certain area, you got your like if you from Chicago, you know your barber. Your barber might be J Money on 12th Street. You went to him for years.
Jay's
Now
good.
you not in Chicago. You in New York City, and now you with this rapper. You can't just walk out and go do things. Now you up under this person. This person got a private barber. You would think the private barber, you would be like, take care of my homies too. This is your entourage. That's why Fat Joe has said on the joint like he don't deal with entourages because it costs too much. If you
Yeah, I was gonna say, Twiz, you can't
you
just be walking around expecting your homeboy to get you lined up every day. Like, what kind
exactly.
of shit is that, man? You're supposed to be thugging it
Exactly.
out at this point. You're supposed to be in the
Well,
position that your homeboy was in. You can't afford a fresh haircut every day. Get off
yeah,
your
but
high
yeah,
horse.
Well, yeah, you can refresh a freshie, but that's also more why if you in them type of shoes, you gotta at least get in that studio. Like, bro, I need studio time. I'm not here for no purpose. I'm trying to get to a bag, and that's
You
on
need
like,
studio time. Yo, homie, studio time is about $25, $30, $40 an hour. Go get yourself some studio time. What do you mean? I mean,
well,
those are crazy to be asking for
yeah,
those type of shorts for somebody. Yo, I need $80 for studio. It's like, bro, you
yeah,
don't have
but
nothing going on for yourself to the point where you can afford some studio time. Like, you
yeah,
must not really love your craft.
but if you got somebody like, all right, so Cassidy is a rapper. He's a rapper. He's in the studio. So when he goes in the studio, if you got people, when you listen, like it's like this, bro. Like if you a rapper, when you got an entourage, that entourage is for two reasons. Either they are your protection or they are artists. When Young Thug had did that interview with Gil and Wallow, they had 100 people in there. They was all artists, bro. And if they wasn't an artist, they was somebody that they respected that got busy. What you don't want to do as an artist is have somebody sitting around you and you not giving them no. You got to get them some leverage to shine because you want to benefit off of them, or you shouldn't have them around you at all if they not like security. Is what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, a grown man, you gonna want that. Like it, like if you bring one of your homies to your crib and they there and it's their fourth day there, and you know this person he might not have no money in his pocket and you come back in the house with Chinese food and you eating it in his face, you know that the man is hungry. So
Yep.
it's like I don't want to keep giving you nothing. So what I am going to do is put you in a position to earn. So that's just how I feel as though that I don't think that Flock would have been a artist that could have gained revenue for Cassidy. So he should have been a friend from a distance. I'm not having nobody around me for no reason. It's no point. Not when you in a position. We not just regular people on the block now. Now I'm Cassidy. I'm a signed artist. Like I said, it's people that think I'm doing better than what I'm doing. Let alone if you a rapper or if you an actor, people think you're doing great. They don't
Yeah, and
understand.
Twiz, it's like, okay, you brought AR Rab to me. You brought AR Rab to the table now. Step
True.
back, stop trying to be a rapper yourself, and focus on how do we make revenue off of AR Rab. Because obviously, if we were going to get revenue together, it would have begun. So since you brought AR Rab, but that's what everybody just wants to, just
I
shine, Twiz.
I think that Cass had Flock around him from day one. All the DVD stuff and all that. Flock was there. I think the problem was that he didn't know how to tell Flock. Like in Cass' position, I would have kept it real with Ab and Flock. Like, bro, like, you know, this stuff is all an illusion, bro. It's not what it's cracked up to be. I'm not really up. I'm not this and that. But what we can do if we go on network together, I can do this, and that. It's like if you have a business, you know what I mean? You're not going to have a business and have somebody cleaning up your business and expecting them to not eventually want nothing. If they was there for the grand opening, all right, they know you ain't getting no revenue, but they're going to start seeing customers come in. Eventually they're going to see you taking money to that safe and people pocket watch. That's what they do, especially when they're not used to being in that predicament. It was just a big lack of communication on all parties. Cass ain't keeping it stack with them and let him know that, because Cass, like I said, Cass always made it like he was the richest guy on earth. Even to this day, Cass will argue you down about how great he doing. Flock or AR, I don't know if Ab said something, but I know for a fact Flip asked Flock, did you ever say anything to Cassidy about it? And Flock said no. Once you can tell somebody that you didn't say nothing about it, everything is out the window. A closed mouth does not get fed. You can't bash Cassidy for something that you didn't address him about when it was going on. That's just a fact.
Yep. And Twiz, man, I'm glad we can't got on here and talked about it. Obviously,
Hmm.
it's something that we might catch a little flack for, you know what I mean? Who
We just
knows?
keeping it as that.
Who knows? I'm just trying to keep it real when it comes to these topics. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything. I want to ask you, what else do you got going on, man? What's the next project you're working on? What's the next video? Let everybody know how they can stay in contact with you, bro.
Okay, definitely. First and foremost, just to you know what I'm saying, ride up, piggyback off of what you said. Yeah, we could receive backlash on it, but at the end of the day, um, what get put out there on this internet, bro, and this go for whoever. Don't think that it ain't gonna get spoken about, bro. Like if certain people don't want certain things spoken about, keep it off the internet, man. All that extra cool stuff is for the birds, but you know what I'm saying? Other than that, you know what I'm saying? It's SB Twiz, the Hub Blogger, man. Y'all can check me out on YouTube at the Hub Blogger, Instagram underscore Twiz215. And what's coming up for me next is um if you ain't check out none of my past interviews, check them out, man. My last joint was I think Frank with the Grippers. Shout out to the Grippers, man. We
How
did a
did you and
legendary.
Frank link up, man? Because
It
Frank
was
was
good.
turning some heads.
Yeah, it was good. I just reached out to him. I had a mutual friend that did time with him. So, I had somebody that, could vouch, for me as a person. So I had just reached out to him on that type of time through the gram. But he was a very down to earth person. And um, make sure y'all check that interview out. He spoke on, for those of y'all that's familiar with the DVD era, y'all know South Philly is like real territorial. And he was speaking on him and like Cree Forge and them. They was battling Meek Mill and the Bloodhounds, different sections in South Philly where they was just going at it and it got real crazy during the battle. So make sure y'all check that out. But that was my last interview I dropped. But I also I touch up on topics and I got a film that's in the making that I'm about to start shooting actually within like the next 2 weeks. Everything is pretty much a green light right now. I got some rappers from the city of Philly that's going to be a part of the film. And if y'all not familiar with my content, also check out my short film that's out already with, you know what I'm saying, shout out my brother Vaga, Thousand Proof, he's in that one. And yeah, that's my main thing is getting this film rolling and I'm gonna keep pushing the content. And I got a couple people that's, that I'm locked in with interviews. Timing is just the main thing right now because you know how it is, Mikey. Like the timing got to line up.
Hell yeah, and I want everybody to go check out my throwback interview with AR Rab that I dropped
Fire, classic.
today. Yeah, I think I got that somewhere right here, maybe.
That was Ab was in his bag on that interview with you too. Like he had a lot to get off his chest. That was a great
Yo,
interview,
yo,
man.
yo, y'all already know what it is, man. This King Ab, King Kong, Top Goon, you hear me? Shout my nigga Mikey T, the movie star. Me and OBH hit house studios right now. Get
Uh-huh.
at me.
So, Ab, is that what Cassidy did? Did he come in and pay homage, pay respect?
Cassie started being my friend because these guys up here was basically trying to extort him. And
Just kept
Yeah,
it all the way
yeah.
real in this interview,
Ab ain't got
Chris.
no filter. That joint right there, I think that's the studio they had back my hood and stuff like that. Cause he was like up here. Well, that's not that's it's like probably like 10 minutes from my block and stuff like that. But yeah, that's crazy, man. Damn, Ab. I'm one thing I can say, man. Ab, bro, you truly missed. I don't care what nobody say, man. You had your energy. People was anticipating just to hear you, man, and he was not no messed up person. Like if you meet Ab in person, bro, he would give you an opportunity. A lot of things, a lot of artists, rappers, and people that's in position would not give a person the opportunity, bro. If you came up and you was like, I play the violin, he might find a place for you or something that he could do with you, bro. Like Ab was not, who a lot of people think he was, man. He really tried to help a lot of people out.
Yeah, man. Ab was a real one. So y'all can go check out that interview with Ab. I got it up right now. Also, my interview with Continental 5, 50 Cent's cousin. We discussed a
Fire.
bunch of shit, man. We talked about a lot. We talked about Ghetto Quran, you know what I mean? All the drama with Supreme, the documentary produced on Supreme by Nas. We actually touched on the whole incident that happened with Ja Rule and Irv Gotti at the Hit Factory. We spoke about Maserati Fox. Whole bunch of interviews with Continental 5 out from one of my recent podcasts. Um,
Facts.
yeah, so a bunch of content that I've been doing, Twiz. I'm just staying on top
I've
of
been
everything.
tuned in. I've been tuned in, Mikey. I know you do your thing. Most of the time, listen to your content while I'm at work, but I seen the Continental Five joints and all of that. So
All right.
the clips that did the full joint get released yet?
The what joint?
Did the full interview get released with Continental Five yet?
Nah, not the
Okay,
full
okay, yeah,
interview
I
yet.
didn't think so.
I'm only
Okay,
about, I think I'm about 6 pieces in. It was about
okay, okay.
an hour and a half interview, hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's fire. That's fire. You got a lot of legendary joints. Shout out to you, Mikey T.
But
Most
Twiz, we're gonna
definitely.
be back at it tomorrow night. All
Absolutely, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I'll be here. You know what I'm saying?
right, yo, we got a special topic for everybody tomorrow night.
Okay, y'all know how we carry it, man. Shout out to the chat, man. Much love and respect to y'all as always, man. We all family. This report card radio live familiar.
It's gonna be a roast tomorrow night. It's
Mm,
gonna be a major roast tomorrow night.
I might have to bust the Deuce out for tomorrow night then.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's about a man who got ran out of, where was he? In Erie, PA.
Oh, a little man by the oh, I think I heard the tale of a little man that
A
got
little
ran out of
man who
Area
might have
PA.
been attached to a G Unit artist.
Oh man, he
Oh,
got
but you
ran out
guys are
of
gonna
there.
have to stay tuned for that tomorrow night for the
Facts.
roast from myself and Twiz. Who knows? Maybe we will even be joined by 10 Toes Down.
Oh man.
Maybe we'll have a couple
Shout
special
out to
guests
Ten
tap in.
Toes.
But yeah, Twiz, so send us out, man.
Yeah, man. SB Twist the Hub blogger, man. Mikey T, the movie star. Report card radio. Y'all know how we carry it, man. It's only one way from here, and that's up. Y'all already know what time it is. Much love and respect, man. And y'all stay safe out there and stay tuned for the next episode. Straight like that.
Peace.